expecting.
Hey now. I had already hit the button when you started talking. So. Hey now. We are live. We are live. Make sure you have the Twitch up so you could view chat.
I got my chat open.
And, and I'm going to post on all the Discords, which I guess includes yours.
I did post in my general chat, so...
I saw that. I saw that. Well, instead of me posting there, why don't you, I'll leave you to do it, yeah. There's no sense in me doing it. Right? That's redundant. Yeah. Okay, so we are live. Hello everybody, welcome into another stream. It's not started yet. And yeah. Okay, I'm done posting. Let me just post on like Facebook and let me let Jesse know. Yo, Flower with the sub for 56 months.
Very
Thank you so much. Let's have a little bit of an emote party. Spam them if you got them, although I don't think we're going to have a whole lot of emotes since Flower, I think you're the first person to come into chat, other than myself and Elise. But let's just have a little hype party there for Flower, at least with the explosions. I love the pank. The pank. You know
that
what?
Is the one emote that I know by heart that I can just type every...
Can I say something about that emote? How long have you had that? You've had that for quite a while, right?
That is my first emote.
But like, how many years would you say you've had that? Roughly.
6 or 7?
Okay.
It precedes Barbenheimer.
I was gonna say, you have absolutely predicted Barbenheimer.
It's funny, actually.
Atomic blast. That's amazing.
It's funny because I do have like stickers and like pins of the pink explosion.
Yeah. Jesse, if you could spam some emotes in the chat to thank Flower for a 56-month subscribe.
And you feel better too.
And definitely. I just want to let everybody know that Jesse's not going to be joining us today. He is very sick. I just spoke to him, and he sounded like half a bucket of hot ass.
Can confirm.
So, yeah. So it's just going to be me and Elise today, which Jesse has signed off on and everything. But let's, yeah. Oh, look at the emotes. Those are Jesse's emotes.
Oh, those are delightful.
Those are great. They're all his face. How many emotes do you have that are your face? There's at least 3 of them that are just your face. That's amazing. I would never put my face in an emote, not because I think it's wrong to do, but because I don't think anybody would want to use it. It's like, oh,
cartoony ones.
Maybe a cartoony one, because I think, yeah,
but...
I think that if someone like saw it, they'd be like, "Who is this bearded gentleman?" And you're like, "Oh, it's some streamer." And like, okay, fine, but it doesn't encourage people to buy the subscription. You know what I mean? Whereas fantastic things like Dickles the Bee and Bruh.
God, we love Dickles.
Dickles the Bee is probably, it's up there. It's in my favorites. The Goose, the $4 is actually a follow emote, but now there's a feature that follow emotes can be used outside the channel by subscribers, which I think is
so
awesome.
Excited for that
there's
one.
our dog emotes, and you know what? My favorite emote is actually a bit emote. I don't think anybody has unlocked this one just yet, but it is the surprise slime. Hey, Wayne.
I love surprise slime.
Wayne is reading an article about an airline having to turn a plane around for a passenger with excessive farting, weapons of ass destruction. Hey, Moogle. Weapons of ass destruction. That's just... I think that is the last 4 Megadeth albums right there.
Oh my god. I need to tell you. I got somebody in person with the Mind Goblin today.
Oh, what?
I was so... proud of myself.
I mean, I got my nephews with it, but they're kids. It's like, of course they're gonna fall for it. But wow, that's amazing.
To be fair, we were kind of going back and forth with D's nuts kind of because he got me.
They still didn't see it coming.
Dragons. I'm sorry.
They still didn't see it coming, even though you were doing back and forth.
No. He's like, what's the mind goblin? I'm like, mind goblin, these nuts! And I just lost it.
For a while, we were all doing it like a lot, especially on raids, and EB was lamenting that they never get anybody with it, because they'll be like, have you heard of the mind goblin? And then everybody will just take it really seriously. It's like, yes, that's terrible. Yes, I understand, you know. And it's like, come on, you know? And then when it finally happened, when EB finally got somebody with the mind goblin, it was the most epic instance of it that I'd ever seen in my life. We have a clip of it somewhere.
Oh, thank God.
I forget what channel it is, but I think it might have been Atsumori Kofuhara, or one of those that very often has guests on and is a VTuber. But I made a clip of that, and it's just, yeah. It was pretty amazing. Nice. Because, hey, D-Pad Danny, because right about at the moment that they were figuring out, they're like, oh, it better not be, and then it came up in chat like, oh, you fucking got me. D-Pad Danny, I don't know if you noticed, but you were gifted a sub. That's why you have that little Doge next to your name. Okay, it's a shame that Jesse's not here, and I'll tell you why. I actually already told Elise, but I'm going to tell you guys. We are going to make List Critics history today. Because aside from all the lists that I have, and Elise has a list because guest hosts are always encouraged and allowed to bring a list with them, I have a list that I made. So you know, Jesse is unfortunately really sick right now. I just spoke with him. He didn't sound too good. So he's in the chat right now. He's laying down and relaxing and listening to the show. Unfortunately, he's not doing too well. Would love to have him. Would normally say there's no show without him, but I got told this. I got told this right as we were ready to go live. So,
so we wish him well, but the show must go on. Like we say.
Look at Danny's like, what a scrub. I mean, I hope he feels better soon. But yes, Jesse's in the chat. He's definitely there. Okay. All right. So another thing that you know. Tumblr gets deep, seems to just, it's gone. It's not a thing anymore. So, but I still really like the website Pleated Jeans, so I have a selection of lists from Pleated Jeans that we're going to start the show off with.
Always a good choice.
So, are you ready? I'm ready.
I am ready. Let's
get into this. So let's come over here. We're not going to play the normal intro because it's not a gaming night anyway. It doesn't make much sense to have all these clips from, you know, Castlevania and Power Wash Simulator and The Hobbit and all that, you know.
I don't see your new intro. I will have to
wait,
check that.
Hold on. Have you not seen it? I'll play it then if you haven't seen it.
Give me 1 second because I have to pull up
the audio. Yes. Okay. Let me go ahead and kill the music. And I wasn't going to play the intro, but you haven't seen the 2024 intro. It is true that when you come into stream, it's usually when I'm into it. Yeah, it's usually
you've been started for quite some time.
Let's mount and do this. You ready?
I am ready. Yes.
Here we go. Yeah, coming at you. That's going all the way, isn't it? Oh! I lived, bitch! I lived, bitch! Smack you with your own pimp. After... I almost said ravioli. It says revolt. I almost said ravioli. Can you guys tell that Trevor's drunk? Hot naughty golems in your area. Can I... Oh, no. No! You can't, no! I must go. My people need me. I saw the entire western region of Middle-earth crack and fall into the sea. I'm not wearing fucking pants. You didn't see shit, you understand? You there, dumbass! Yes, you, in front of the screen. I mean, you. And me, too. Tell you the truth, Carl, this is the 37th time I've broken my vegetarian vows. 37. In a row? 20 more. What's hitting me? This doesn't make any logical sense.
Man, that bird's good going down. Haven't felt that in a long time.
All things your mother said. I'm sorry.
Punish me. You got a hose. Yeah, I'm a naughty dinosaur. Oh, you're good in the cloaca. Yeah, right there in my cloaca. Oh, I'm so dirty. Oh.
Can't talk to them.
Your lovely vision is nice.
Oh,
wait.
Thank you,
He's spitting game. Hold up. He's spitting game. That's it? That's all the game you got? You ain't never gonna get laid. And hey now. We had to play it for Elise. Elise has not seen the intro. And, you know, I could hear, and I'm sure you guys could hear her laughing throughout, and I think your favorite clip might be the same as my favorite clip. It's the Morrowind one, right?
Yes.
Where I just, like, kill her, and I'm like, I turn like, you didn't see shit.
You didn't see shit.
All right, guys. Well, we normally start with Tumblr Gets Deep. We don't have any Tumblr Gets Deep. It's just not a thing. That I guess Tumblr is not deep enough anymore. But we have a few lists from Pleated Jeans that we're going to kick off the show with. So, starting with, now I know it's oh, and Moog with the watch streak, nice. It's generally considered rude to ask a woman her age, but this is relevant, Elise. How old are you?
I am 37.
Okay, so you're, you know, in the same age group as a lot of us. You know, I'm 43. I'm probably one of the oldest in our group of friends. Wayne's a little bit older than me. Hitomi's a little bit older than me. And there's people that are younger or around your age and such, right? Sure. But a lot of us fall into that group of elder millennials. Where we're not quite Gen X. I mean, I guess Hitomi and Wayne might be considered that. And it really, there is no, like, strict cutoff for that.
Sure.
But we have, from Pleated Jeans, elder millennials share the least favorite stereotypes boomers and Gen Z give their generations. Because let's be real, we get it from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
We get it from both sides.
It's very true.
Okay, so number one, Nuke Energy says, I'll start. Avocado toast is the reason we won't be able to retire.
Ugh. You're not wrong.
That or a latte or whatever is pissing off the boomers that day, right?
Just save your coffee money. Make it at home. Yeah, okay. My mortgage is $4,000 a month.
But you're going to save that $7 from Starbucks. Okay, number two, Scouty Beagle says, when you're looked down upon for needing to use YouTube, etc. for learning tasks, for example, changing a tire, that our parents were taught by our grandparents, but the former never took the time to teach us. Now, imagine if we didn't have YouTube.
Oh, God. We'd be so fucked.
Yeah.
I am very thankful that my father did take the initiative to show me a lot of, like, home improvement-y kind of things. But I know that I am very much in the minority here.
And I run into people who I will give home improvement hacks or cleaning hacks or whatever. And I'm always doing it in what I hope comes off as the most non-condescending way possible, because there are so many people who just were not given those lessons for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, and RightShoot7 here replies to that. Looking down on someone for anything that they haven't yet been taught but are trying to learn is just about the stupidest thing I've heard. It's not their fault that no one taught them the thing yet, and they are going out of their way to teach themselves. What is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing, right?
No. Wholeheartedly agree.
Yeah. Number three, Cats here says, it's, you know how I can tell this is old, even though it was just posted recently, is that these are sourced from Reddit, but they still have the awards on them. You know they got rid of the awards on Reddit? I had a few silvers and even a platinum, and they're just gone because of that stupid Reddit's points thing that they tried to have for a while, and I guess some countries viewed it as a form of gambling.
Oh, jeez. So there's no more Reddit gold? You can't give somebody gold?
They don't exist anymore.
Wow, that blows.
Because I had a few. I had one for a post about Kazara Studios, and another one for a post on I Am the Asshole, a comment on I Am the Asshole, or Am I the Asshole, and then like one other that I forget where it came from. All right, so Katz here says, it's actually interesting in my opinion. We have got to be one of the most discriminating tastes of any generation for a long time. We don't just settle for shit we're not happy with if there are other options that suit our taste better. And what does that mean? Sorry, cable, streaming is better. Sorry, garbage chain restaurants, smaller niche restaurants are better. Sorry, napkin industry, I've got a roll of paper towels. Sorry, Harley Davidson, I've never seen nor do I connect with Easy Rider. Sorry, cruise industry, gross. It's true. Like, whenever I see these, like, millennials are killing the napkin industry, and I'm like, how? Yeah. And then I read it, and it's like, well, they think paper towels are better, and I'm like, they high key are.
And like, let's be honest. Like, nothing is going to kill the fast food industry.
No, nothing will. No.
Like they can
actually
say,
I can tell you what would kill the fast food industry real quick. Income equality. That would kill it real fast.
Yeah.
But that'll never happen, so that's a fantasy.
We hope.
We might as well sail to Narnia. Number 4, as Tara says, I, for one, am tired of hearing about things we've killed. Tastes change all the time. This is not new. Yeah, I mean, I was just saying that,
Yeah, it ties very much into the last one, so yeah.
One of my favorites is I saw millennials are killing the diamond industry, and I'm like, good.
Good. Yeah, my engagement/wedding ring is a moonstone.
Cool.
I did not want.
What's fucked up is that, like, there are some people who like diamonds, and that's perfectly fine, but then like they're rejecting the synthetic diamonds that, like, you would need to have a microscope to see the difference, and they're like, no, I want one that somebody died for. Like,
there's barely a difference. You can't tell just by looking at it.
You can't even tell with one of those, like, gem-nocular things. You need a microscope.
Yeah, you basically need to run petrographic tests on it to notice the difference. So.
First Cats, and now number 5, Miss Meow says, in my office, if you finish the arduous tasks you are given early, they just expect more work. They don't care about the quantity or quality, just that you punch in for 8 hours a day. Now that I work from home, I have a much better balance because no one can see me fucking around when I finish my tasks early. Just because it takes me 4 hours to do what it takes my boomer coworkers 8 hours to do doesn't mean I should have to do more than them. I currently have the highest stats on my team. I am also the only millennial. And when I finish my work, I'm expected to pick up the slack for my coworkers who can only type 30 words a minute with a 75% accuracy rate. Yet I'm the lazy, and that's terrible too. Yet I'm the lazy and entitled one because I have more downtime. That's 100% accurate. 100%.
This is something that I have noticed within my company as well. That,
You're rewarded with more work.
Yeah, and I very much subscribe to the "fuck you, pay me" mantra. Yeah. Well, you want me to do extra work? Pay me for it.
This is why quiet quitting is a thing, and I mean. Yeah. Number 6, Werewolf 359 says, by the way, that 5 is spelled out. I just want to point that out. That we don't take our job seriously. I had to sit my peer, who's 55 plus, down and tell him that the millennials he was bitching about were the same age as the very qualified and mission-focused person he's been working with for the past decade. We're upper management. And he's referring to him and the other person as upper management, not millennials in general. Right. He clarifies. But it's true that, millennials are in their 30s and 40s now.
Yeah, millennials are not children at this point, and so many
Gen Z are in their mid-20s. It's not,
So many from the older generations still assume millennial equals child when most of us are pushing, if not over 40 at this point.
There was a thing on Facebook that I saw that said something like, "Should millennials be allowed to hold public office?" And there was a reply that was like, well, I hope they do, because I understand how linear time works. Number 7, MFSB. I'm not reading all these letters. We got blamed for spring break COVID outbreaks. We aren't in college anymore. Basically what we were just saying.
Again, it's people are not understanding the age.
There's a very good progression in this list, because we start discussing something that comes to mind from number 6, and then it comes up in number 7,
Yeah, it's very...
It flows well.
Yes, I agree.
Number 8, Fieri Flavortown Zero says, I had to go... I know how much you like Guy Fieri, that's why I was laughing. I had to go on a business trip and work with an older lady who was just about ready to retire. I managed trade shows and traveled around North America to convention centers and hotels organizing events. She had an old school way of checking inventory by hand. I'm pretty good with Excel and Salesforce, so I had a faster way of doing it. I got the job done like I've been doing for years and left so I can go enjoy Vancouver. We've all heard the saying, work smarter, not harder. She couldn't get it through her head that the workday was done for me. I found out from another colleague that she called me a lazy, entitled millennial with no work ethic. So that's the stereotype I hate. I busted my ass and paid my way through college. I worked long hours and kissed ass to get the position I'm in. I know plenty of other young professionals that have done the same. This idea from baby boomers that we're entitled or lazy gets tiresome.
Mm-hmm.
It's projecting, because what generation is more lazy and entitled than the baby boomers?
Yeah.
Like, in the history of everything ever. Number 9, Fallout 541 says, I kind of laugh when boomers call us snowflakes when they seem to be a bigger bunch of wimps in history. Anytime they get a taste of their own medicine, they act like it's an assault on their freedom.
Yep.
Oh my god. They love to talk about freedom, but when they see it happening, they get really pissy.
Not my freedom, not your freedom, mine.
Yeah, exactly. Number 10, KSK3 says, as an American, it's basically that we're inheriting a system that nobody trusts us to run. All the people who represent us are 2 to 3 times older than us. The older generation are refusing or unable to retire, which is preventing us from actually entering the job market.
That is extremely true, and it's something that I am noticing.
I have so many things to say about that would violate our no politics on stream rule.
Yes.
Number 11, Lazarus 870 here says that people don't own a house because they're lazy. I have taken the time to explain the loss of buying power, stagnant wages, automation, contract employees, lack of job security, cost of living in other areas, etc. Play way more into it.
Yeah, I reiterate.
Yeah. My
mortgage is $4,000 a month. That's insane.
It's interesting because when you grow up where you could get like a 9-to-5 job, right, and support a household with just that 9-to-5 job, and your spouse doesn't work, you have 3 children, you have a nice house, you know what I mean? That's the way it was. And now it's you need several people working 80 hours a week, and it's like, well, why don't you have a house? You're not working for it. I worked for it. And I was like, you were on easy mode.
Pipe dream. And also, my God, my parents paid $187,000 for their house. We paid $425,000 for a house that's smaller than theirs is.
Yep, that's how
it make sense.
Number 12. Ooh, yeah, that's this person's name on Reddit. Posts, like many, I am working from home. I'll get a call from my mom. Hey, you're not working now. Go do something for me. Thanks. Working from home is way shittier than going to real work, at least for me. I do fit the stereotype of hating talking on the phone.
Yeah, my sister works out of the house, and as she lives with my parents, they do not understand that just because she's awake doesn't mean that she can come downstairs and do something. Or she is working. She is actively for her business.
It's not tied to a location.
Yeah, and like even to a lesser extent, I get it from them too. Like I love my parents. My parents are wonderful.
And you're a scientist.
They will give me a call at like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, Mom, I'm at work. Is this an emergency? Oh no, I just wanted to see how you're doing. Mom, I'm working.
Yeah, a little busy right now.
Yeah.
Number 13, Fishmom5 says, you must go to college and get a degree. You don't want to be flipping burgers or changing the oil in some rich guy's car. Does that, incurs a lot of debt. These irresponsible millennials and their elitist liberal educations, if they'd been smart, they'd go to community college and transfer or go to trade school. They won't just take a job, any job to pay the bills. They could flip burgers. Why should we pay for their mistakes? This is the one that particularly bothers me because you're told to avoid. You're brought up that these sort of jobs are bad and that you should not want that, and you have to do X, X, and X to avoid it. And then when you do that, they're like, "Well, how come you're too good to do that?" I was like, "Well, yeah, I am.
Yeah, I was.
You're the one that put that idea in my head."
When I first graduated, it was into a recession. Hooray!
Hooray! Question mark.
It took me almost 2 years to find full-time employment. Yep. It got to the point where I was considering going into the trades.
There you go.
And my parents would come. My dad would be like, the grocery store is hiring. Yes, and I have a master's degree. You think they're even going to look at me?
Yeah, because they don't want to hire someone that's going to leave as soon as something better comes along.
I'm overqualified.
Yeah. So. Number 14, K Maybe says, millennials has just become term for young person with ideals I don't agree with. That sums up the whole list, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's very succinctly.
There's more, but that pretty much just puts it all in a nice, neat little package. Number 15, 1981 here. The stereotypes are amazing. Every time I hear an insult aimed at millennials, I'm amazed and amused that anyone thought it was an insult. An entire demographic dedicated to making sure everyone is doing something they believe in, and we get all the support we need, and putting Applebee's out of business, I'm honored to be counted among them on a technicality. Yo, Applebee's sucks, too. It's true.
Did you hear about that $200 Applebee's pass?
No.
Oh, I will admit that we did actually attempt to get one of these things, just for the laughs and for emergencies. Yeah. But so Applebee's was offering a year's worth of food, $30. Basically, they were offering, it was like a pass that would give you 52 chances to spend $30.
Just like Applebee's season tickets.
Yeah, basically for $200. Which, that's a pretty good deal.
I'll tell you why they do that too, because they figure you're going to be there all the time to get all this free food, and you're going to buy a bunch of drinks that are not covered under that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we looked into getting one because there's a Crapplebee's down the street from us. Whatever, we could get something to go if we don't feel like cooking that night, or we're having a really like run around kind of day.
Yeah.
Those things sold out immediately. So I don't know if we're actually killing Applebee's or not. Because that was fucking gone.
Well, I mean, they've closed a lot of stores, but I mean, what's fucked up is that Applebee's, there was a time when it wasn't that bad. It got worse.
It did. We, my friends and I used to do that like the half price appetizers after 10 p.m. kind of thing.
Yeah.
And all through college, we'd be going there.
Yeah, it was the
Friday
shit.
Nights.
It was the shit back in the early 2000s, right?
Yeah, and now it's
just shit. Yeah.
It's Chef Mike to the rescue.
Yeah, everything's frozen. All right, number 16, Clever Nickname says, the stereotype that a lot of millennials are struggling with money because they're lazy and entitled is ridiculous. Look at the average wage versus the cost of rent, healthcare, and higher education now versus what it was a few decades ago. Boomers had it far easier than we did, but act like our generation struggles to boil down to a lack of hard work. Also, the participation trophy meme, aside from being largely bullshit anyway, raises the question, whose generation was giving out the participation trophies? Why would you blame kids for who received them? You still have an Applebee's there, Flower? I mean, it's not, like I said, it's not the worst thing I've ever had, but it's just, it seems like they've gone downhill. Yeah, like, oh, well, you kids never should have gotten participation trophies. Like, okay, cool.
I didn't give it to myself.
Who is in charge of handing them out, Karen? Number 17, Omega 10 says, I hate that millennials get pinned as being addicted to their phones, like always behind a screen and not interacting with the real world. I, for one, try really hard to have good phone etiquette, and what I've noticed is boomers can be really bad about this. Some of the older people in my office and family are the worst offenders when it comes to texting at the table or just checking out on social media. I will fully admit I'm addicted to my phone, so what?
I am very much attached to my phone.
It is not an anti-communication tool. It is literally a communication tool.
Yeah. My friends live in the internet. Don't you know that?
Number 18, Alakir says, when people call teens and early 20s millennials, that was like 10 to 15 years ago. And then Jessic says, I've seen old people refer to Generation X members down to junior high students as millennials. It just means person under 50 who I don't like, apparently. That one was slightly redundant. And here's the last one, number 19, 12 Ed 11 says, I'm getting really tired of hearing about us lying around expecting handouts and not working, especially when it's a situation where the person saying it is standing in a room with a lot of millennials, all of whom have jobs, which is every single time I've heard this said in real life. Like, who here is lying around doing nothing? Who's your example? Oh, it's your neighbor's best friend's cousin's son. He doesn't have a job and lives on the couch all day. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, out of 19, I'm going to say 18. There was one of those that felt redundant, but all the others hit on all cylinders.
I agree. I think it's an 18 out of 19 there.
Okay, so this one, this is a Twitter thing here, and this is very similar in a way, but it's about ain't got no damn money. It's 24 hilarious and candid tweets about money or the lack thereof. So number 1 here, Mr. Chonkers says, hey guys, just a thought, but how about instead of canceling celebrities for comments they made years ago, we start boycotting companies that want bachelor's degrees and 3 to 5 years of experience for $13 an hour entry-level job? I have seen this particular tweet like 17 times today. Like everywhere. I saw it on Twitter. I saw it on Facebook. I saw it on Reddit. I'm seeing it here. This one, it's doing the numbers. Also, did they somehow along the line somewhere lose sight of what the word entry level actually means?
I definitely get that impression.
Yeah.
It's like
entry level means no requirements.
No requirements, no experience. You are providing them the experience.
Yeah. Number 2, this is from a Twitter called Employee Tears, so I just want to point that out. On her last day, my HR lady printed out an Excel list with everyone's salary on it and left it in the printer tray. Absolute legend.
God tier, that's amazing.
Yeah. Did you know, and because a lot of people don't know this, that speaking about your salary in the workplace is a federally protected right?
I did, because boy howdy do we.
Yeah, and you should. And you should. Number 3, Chef Chino says, 2 years ago I had 32 pounds left in my bank account. Right now I have 7 pounds. You thought this was a motivational post. No, sir. It's a cry for help.
Oh, I feel that one. But ooh.
Wow. Legend, though. That's great. Number 4, college student says, can someone explain to me how some college students are traveling the world and I just used quarters for gas? Been there.
Oh, yeah.
Number 5, Roy Wood Jr. ex-Jedi says, when you look at the price tag on a shirt and the shirt costs so much, you know you in the wrong store, but you got to stay and look at 2 to 3 more shirts so they don't think you ain't got it.
Yeah.
No, don't be like that.
This is
you know what
money,
you do?
money.
No, what you do? You got to look at it and go, pfft, and then walk out. That's what you do. That's the move.
That is the move.
Yeah. Okay, number 6, 2. This person's name is just 2. Not the number, but the article. And it says, me staring at the ATM when I'm done to make sure that motherfucker go back to the home screen.
Yeah.
That's too much.
That's too real.
Oh. Number 7, Jamal W. Vertos says, don't nobody hate on you like the IRS when you single with no dependents. Yeah, it's real, though.
Oof.
Number 8, Sarah J. Haas says, credit card chip machines are like, do not remove your card. Do not, hey, look at me. Do not remove your card. Take your card out immediately or I'm burning this place to the ground. Yeah, they do tend to be kind of alarming at times, huh?
They do. It's like, are you familiar with the, there's a Dimitri Martin joke about drinking water and ice in the glass?
Yes.
It's very much that.
Hold.
Hold.
And then suddenly,
now!
Here it comes. Yeah. Number 9. Kevin Hard Summer says, $80 an hour? What is GMFU? I mean, FU is fuck you, I get? Or, oh, you got me fucked up. That's what it is. You got me fucked up thinking I'm going to refuse that. Shit. Oh, okay. I missed a part here where the article here is they offered you $80 an hour to clean the cemetery alone from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Y'all taking the job in a heartbeat.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
That's like
$80 an hour.
You got money.
You got me fucked up thinking I'm going to refuse that shit. I'm making sure each one of those tombs are spotless with the finest holy water. Annabelle trying to visit her friend. Aisle 6, row 3, bro. Might get haunted, but I'm leaving each shift in a Bentley with Casper and his homies in the back. You need to think about it, though. Like, a cemetery is probably the most peaceful place that you could work. Everybody's dead.
Who's going to bother you?
Yeah, everybody's dead. And if you're working at night, there's no, like, mourners to worry about. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? Polishing some tombs? Cutting the grass? Probably not at night. But, you know, ain't that big of a deal. $80 an hour? Shit. All right, number 10. Oh, this is Miracle. Ever bought an expensive stuff? Ever bought an expensive stuff? That's fun. One expensive stuff, please. Ever bought an expensive stuff and told your mom a lower price so you can stay alive?
Ooh, yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. Oh my god. All right. This is real better than I thought it was going to be. Number 11, Amy Middleton says, my wee brother is fly as fuck. He just got his bank account set up in online banking, so he phoned me to transfer him 10 pounds to make sure it was working. Accepted that I wouldn't get the 10 pounds back. Then my mom told me he done it to her, my gran, and my auntie. We assholes up 40 pounds now. Nice.
Surprising little shit, ain't he?
Yeah. Hey, you can't knock the hustle. Wow, Wayne. I mean, digging graves is a pretty specific skill too. It's like anybody can dig a hole, but can you dig a hole that's an exact rectangle? It's not that easy, right? Number 12. Wow, this person's name is Clit Slinging Slasher. I just want to point that out there.
Wayne got me with that one.
With Puka and Frog. All right. I really need people to learn their worth because there's no way you should have a master's degree and only asking for $45K a year. What the fuck?
Oof.
Yep.
Oof.
Number 3.
I have a master's degree. My starting salary was $40K a year.
Oh no.
When I first joined the workforce.
Oh, no. All right, number 13. Jay here says your card declining when you know you have the money is a very funny experience.
Yeah.
You and me have different definitions of the word funny.
Funny is in like what's the Robert? Is it Robert De Niro?
What?
Do I make you laugh?
No, that was Joe Pesci. What do you mean?
Yes.
What do you mean I'm funny? Just you're funny. You're funny. No. What do you mean? Like I'm here to fucking amuse you? I'm a clown.
Yeah, the
good
fellas. Yeah. That kind of funny.
Yeah. Number 14, Dan Price says, if you post an entry-level job, you can't require any experience. If you require experience, you need to pay more than entry-level pay. I don't know when we got away from this, but you can't require 10 years experience for $35K and complain, no one wants to work.
Yeah.
No one wants to work.
No one wants to work? I mean, I don't want to work, but I
Nobody.
need money,
no, it's true. Nobody does. I mean, but we do it.
No, yeah, nobody wants to, but we have to.
Yeah. Number 15, Ashley White says, when you beat the deadline to cancel that free trial before you get charged. It shows a person who's like, I think they were just exonerated in court, you know, hugging their lawyer. Number 16, Stretch here says, when me and my, some word that I'm not allowed to say that starts with N, was broke, we just used to go to an expensive restaurant, eat the food, then start fist fighting so they'll throw us out and forget about the bill in the midst of the chaos. Oh, that's a good way to get arrested.
Not harder.
That's a good way to get arrested.
Oh, that's...
Number 17, Steph here says, millennials spend all their money on luxuries, says the generation that insists on having expensive sets of good plates as well as regular plates, as if anyone gives a shit. Yeah, I never understood having things that you're not supposed to use in some way, like having a sofa you can't sit on, or plates that you're not supposed to use, or towels that you can't dry your hands with. Like, okay.
Just use it.
Yeah. This one's number 18 from Seth Timlake says, my bill after getting bit by a snake. Okay, so I'm just going to... Wow. There's several things on it, but the total is, let's just say it's 6 figures. $153,161.25. And you know they'd be coming after you for that quarter.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't pay it. Yeah. Wow. And then a reply from the Don says, I would have just died.
Yeah, basically.
It's like that recent Beavis and Butthead episode where it was they were older and they were talking about a time that I guess Butthead had a heart attack and got defibrillated, and he was like, that thing hurt, you know, and he says, and they sent me a bill for $125,000 and I just ignored it.
I have seen that there are ways of navigating that.
A big thing you can do is if you ask for an itemized breakdown of each and every charge, some charges tend to disappear.
Right. And I do know that a lot of hospitals and medical facilities have...
They'll work with you.
Yeah, they'll work with you, or you can say, I can pay this much.
Yeah.
And that's all you're going to get from me, and some is better than none.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Number 19, Freaky says, paying a toll is crazy. Some word I'm not allowed to say. It got me unlocking the rest of the city like this shit Grand Theft Auto.
Oh my god.
I was once told by a teacher that the whole purpose of a toll is to pay for the road, and that they're supposed to get rid of the toll once it's paid for. But then, you know, it's 10 years later and like, well, now we have to maintain it, so...
Yeah. Do you know, it costs me, and this is so, occasionally for work, I will take my personal vehicle.
Yeah.
Because I get mileage reimbursed and I get tolls reimbursed. It costs like $25 to drive into New York City.
Are you going over the Verrazano?
Yeah.
I knew it. As soon as you said that amount, I was like, you're going over that fucking Verrazano
Yeah,
bridge.
it's the Guinea Gangplank.
I remember when it was $4, and that was considered ridiculous because every other bridge was 75 cents.
Yeah, it was highway robbery and a half. But man, the Verrazano will
like,
wring you dry.
Yeah, they're like, these dumb assholes got the money, you know? I guess. All right, number 20.
All that to pay to go to Staten Island?
Yeah.
Not worth it.
No, definitely not. Number 20, KH for Little 2000 says, "Aye, bro, having a car is wild. Some days you just got to pay $700 for no reason." It's true.
Yeah, it's true.
Number 21, Chris Turcotte says, "At 17 years old, they'll let you commit to $200,000 in student loans, but won't give you a $20,000 business loan." Think about that for a sec.
Yeah.
I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Number 22, Real Ass Shit 2 says, "Parents be killing me with that I moved out at 18, bro. Rent was 13 cents back then. Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
Number 23, some asshole named Musa says, "Money will not fix all your problems." And then Orpheus here replies, "Bitch, no offense." I love when it starts with something like, "Bitch, no offense." "Bitch, no offense, but money would solve literally every single one of my problems. Like all of them. I don't have a single problem that money wouldn't immediately solve."
Yeah.
It do be like that. And here's the last one, number 24. FK says, "Me looking at my bank account. Who did all this?" Yeah.
Oh, I feel that one.
All right, I have more here, but you have a list, and I'd like to get to that list. Let's rank that, though.
I will give that last one. That was a 24 out of 24. That was a
100%. It hit hard, and it was funny. 24 out of 24.
Okay, so I do apologize in advance. This is a 50-item list, but it should.
Oh wow! Okay, quick. I didn't realize it was 50. Okay, here we go.
I will make sure that it goes pretty quickly.
Okay.
I can abbreviate it too.
Well, mine is 43, so.
Okay, that's fair. So my list, and to preface this, sometimes when I have downtime at work, I will just come up with lists. And one of the things that, because I'm at work, I end up listening a lot to the radio. I don't have Spotify. I don't use Spotify. So I like the randomness of the radio. That's not the word that I wanted to use.
Well, I understand what you mean. You might want to look into Pandora because, you know, you can type in an artist and it'll play that, like a song by that artist, and then things related to it. And what you can do is you give thumbs up to the tracks you like, and then you'll have after you do a few different channels, right? And you thumb up a bunch of things, you can put on your thumbprint radio.
Oh.
And it's basically a radio station that only plays shit you like.
I like that. Yeah, so I use satellite radio mostly these days.
I mean, you could always listen to 96.9 WVMX Cocksmasher Radio.
Ooh. So this was inspired when listening to a lot of the New York City-based classic rock station.
The Dad Rock.
Yeah, I love classic rock.
Can I ask, because I'm originally from New York City, what is your station?
Q104.
Oh my god, I grew up listening to Q104.
I love Q104.
I actually remember when they were a classical station, and then they went heavy metal out of nowhere, and that's when I started listening. And then they went classic rock after a few years, but I stayed with them because it was good, you know?
Yeah, and their DJ selection, I like them.
Yeah,
I can listen to them talk and not want to like run into the subway.
They had some of the best there, it's true.
Yeah, so I like them. If I'm not listening to the satellite radio, like a lot of times if I'm in a work truck, I can't really, a lot of them don't have Bluetooth capability, they're so old.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, listening to the regular ass radio today. So this is Elise's favorite classic rock acts prior to 1990, based on how excited I get to hear them on the radio. This is not if they are good, it's more so if they have a song that's playing and I get really amped for it.
You get hype. So since it's 50, why don't you do 10 at a time and then we'll make comments.
Okay. So I will go in reverse order. Number 50, Journey, only if it's separate ways. Number 49, The Doors. Number 48, Derek and the Dominoes, would be higher if Eric Clapton wasn't such a shit. Number 47, U2, Zooropa or Later. Number 46, The Clash. Love them, but they feel weird on classic rock radio still. Number 45, Jefferson Airplane or Starship, both equally good for different reasons. Number 44, Ozzy Osbourne. Number 43, Van Hagar. Number 42, Styx. Number 41, Aerosmith, but higher if it's Dream On.
Okay.
And
wait, stop
40,
there. That's 10. That's 10.
That's 10? Okay.
Yeah, okay. I love that you said Van Hagar. That's so funny.
To distinguish, and you'll see why.
Well, because Van Halen with David Lee Roth, I'm assuming, is higher up on the list, right?
Yes, very much so.
Aerosmith only if it's Dream On, huh? None of the other songs get you?
Well, it's higher. They're placed higher if it's Dream On.
Oh, I see. I got you. Okay, all right. No objections here. Let's do the next batch.
Cool. All right. Number 40, Pink Floyd. Number 39, Golden Earring. Number 38, Bryan Adams. Number 37, Paul McCartney and Wings. Number 36, George Harrison Solo. Number 35, Pat Benatar. Number 34, Bad Company, but higher if it is Bad Company, the song, by Bad Company, the band, off of Bad Company,
the album.
I love that triple right there. Oh.
Yeah, that's a hat
Number
trick.
33, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Number 32, AC/DC. And number 31, Neil Young, Solo.
I mean, a lot of good stuff. And hey, Let Your Heart Fly, how's it going? I mean, for me, Pink Floyd is like top 5.
Sure.
That's turn the volume all the way up, bellow the lyrics, air drum, air guitar, everything, you know?
I find that I have to be in a very specific mood for Aerosmith.
Pink Floyd.
For Pink Floyd. Yeah. I like them, and you know, obviously they have a place on the list.
I have to show you my Pink Floyd collection one day.
Oh, sick!
Plots. It's great.
They can get, if I'm having like a weird day, they can send me into like the dissociation zone real fast.
It's true. You're right. That can happen, especially if you're just feeling some kind of way after reading 2 lists about the dystopian world we live in, and then Animals comes on.
Basically, yeah.
All right, let's do the next one.
The next 10. Number 30, Bon Jovi, but higher if it is spring or summer in New Jersey.
That's fair.
Number 29, Crosby, Stills, and Nash, No Young. Number 28, Yes. Number 27, Black Sabbath. Number 26, Don Henley, Solo. Number 25, Alice Cooper. This was before he was outed as a transphobe, so apologies.
Yeah. I mean,
number 20...
We know his name is probably read in Shinigami Eyes, but he wrote some good songs.
Yeah. Number 24, U2, Octoon Baby or Earlier. Number 23, Heart. Number 22, Talking Heads. And number 21, Phil Collins.
Oh, man. Phil Collins is a top 10 pick for me for radio hits, for sure. There was another one that you said that I was like, oh, that's oh, Yes. You don't hear them on the radio that often, but like if I just, like, I'm listening to the radio and I hear, I've seen all good people turn their heads each day, so satisfied I'm on my way, and then the volume goes up, you know.
It's so good, and you like you said, it's very uncommon. They don't play them super frequently, but my God, when they do, I am all about that.
I mean, I got to see them live once, and I was just talking about this not long ago. I saw them at Jones Beach. And they played like literally all of my favorite Yes songs, like even the ones that I thought, oh, there's no way they're gonna play "And You and I," and they did.
That's awesome.
You know, there's no way I'm gonna get to hear "Closer to the Edge." I got to hear "Closer to the Edge."
It's always great when they work out something like that. You know, it's like, you caught me off guard and it got me.
I had no idea it was gonna be that good.
Nice. All right, our next set of 10. This is the top. This is 20 to 11.
Yep.
Number 20, Genesis. Number 19, Peter Gabriel. Number 18, The Cars and Blondie, a tie.
Ooh,
number 17, Jethro Tull. Number 16, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Okay. Number 15, the Doobie Brothers. Number 14, the Moody Blues. Number 13, Frank Zappa. Number 12, Motley Crue. And number 11, Who.
How often are you hearing Frank Zappa on the radio?
You know what? That New York station plays a decent amount of Frank Zappa.
What is like the song they play the most? Like, is it like
Dancing Fool? They play Dancing Fool.
Dancing Fool.
I love it.
I may be totally wrong, but I'm a dancing fool. I think Tina Turner's on that song too.
I love it. It's so good.
He's like one of my favorite musicians of all time. Peter Gabriel, also one of my favorite musicians of all time. So
Dude, yeah. This was such a hard list for me because while it is entirely subjective, like they could skip places all the time.
Oh my God, Sledgehammer. You can't hear the first few notes of Sledgehammer and not get hype.
It's so good. It's so good. That's one that I will crank the radio.
Yeah, you hear that
regardless.
You know, and then you know what's happening. All right, let's hear the top 10.
All right, the top 10. Number 10, ELO. Number 9, Fleetwood Mac.
Oh,
Number 8, David Bowie, post-Plastic Soul. Number 7, David Bowie, pre-Plastic Soul.
Fair enough.
Number 6, Steely Dan. Number 5, Rolling Stones. Number 4, Bruce Springsteen. Number 3, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Oh, yes.
Number 2, Van Halen, David Lee Roth era. And number 1, probably the spiciest take on this entire list, the Eagles.
I like the Eagles. The spiciest take is the Rolling Stones, but I already told you that.
Yeah.
I can't stand them. But, I mean, you know, and Tom Petty, my God, I was so fucked up when he died. I really was.
Unreal. Yeah,
I was fucked up.
There were a series of celebrity deaths that got me like fucking rapid fire between Bowie, and then Tom Petty got me, and it was oh God, what's his name from Scott Weiland from.
Oh, I kind of saw that one coming.
I mean the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
But
Chris Cornell was the one that was surprising to me.
Yeah.
But Tom Petty came out of nowhere, and you know, I'm just gonna give you an example, like that Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer that just dropped not too long. I don't give a shit about Grand Theft Auto 6. I must have watched that trailer 20 times. I'm not gonna buy the game, but the Tom Petty song mixed with the imagery, it's like perfect. It's like a little music video. And whoever's managing Tom Petty's estate in his YouTube account was very, very smart, because what they did was they re-uploaded the song and put it as like, this is the song from Grand Theft Auto 6.
Brilliant.
And they got like 1 million views in like a week, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, they used the song Love is a Hard Road, which is not even one of his biggest hits, but it was the perfect song for that trailer. I'm not going to buy the game. I don't give a fuck about Grand Theft Auto, but God, that trailer hits. I'm going to give you, what was that, 50? I'm going to give you 49 I'm going to give you.
That's fair. Thank you.
I'm taking off one single point for the Rolling Stones.
You know what? That's fine. I thought more people were going to be hating on
the Eagles?
Number 1.
That's my grandma's favorite band. I'm not even joking.
I saw them live back in September.
I mean, they had a lot of hits.
Steely Dan.
You can't like deny that you hear Hotel California. You know you're gonna be singing along to every word.
Hotel California is one of my top 3 favorite songs.
Okay, so the list that I have prepared, and I've never done this on List Critics before.
I'm very excited.
But the list that I have prepared it's 43, and it's because I'm 43, and I wanted to pick my pick for Game of the Year for every year that I've been around. Obviously, it's 2024, but it's also January. So we're not including 2024. And keep in mind that there are certain things about this that need to be said. One is that all of these have to be games I have played. I'm not going to pick a game just for being a big game if I haven't played it. Bonus points if I played it in that year.
Ooh.
Not all of them meet that, but almost all of them do. I mean, obviously, I wasn't playing any video games in 1980. I was a newborn.
Sure.
But a lot of these were played in the years or near the years. There was a few that I had to sort of fudge the release dates. And I'll explain that as we go, because some games got a release date in Japan and then a different one in the US, a different one, and then they get re-released. There was one game in particular that I absolutely felt needed to be on this list, and there were 4 different spots that I could use it. And I wound up putting it in a specific spot because the other 3 had games that I also had to include. Okay, so starting off with 1980, keeping in mind that I was only alive for a month in 1980 because I was born in December, but I'd picked one anyway. And I'm going to give you sort of like each one, I'm going to give you a few honorable mentions, okay? So for 1980, it was pretty easy. I wasn't going to pick anything else really but Pac-Man. No honorable mentions this time. I mean, Asteroids is fun and everything. I played a lot of Galaxian, but Pac-Man, come on.
Yeah, it's a classic for a reason.
Love Pac-Man. Number 1981. This one was actually a little bit difficult because I am drawn to picking Donkey Kong but in the end, after you've seen the 4 screens, you've kind of seen it all. And you can say, but, you know, Pac-Man only has 1 screen. Yeah, well, Pac-Man gets faster, doesn't it? I picked Ultima as my 1981 pick.
Ooh. That's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, let me ask you, what genre do you think is going to be the most represented in this?
You know, I want to say that it's going to be JRPGs because I tend to think of you as like the JRPG guy.
I am kind of the JRPG guy, and you will see a few JRPGs.
It's going to be. I don't think I think it's going to be like either shmups or possibly.
There's not a single shmup on here.
Ah, okay. And possibly Metroidvanias.
I mean, yeah. Okay, here we go. 1982. This was also a tough one because as much as hey, Charlie, I was thinking, you know, Pitfall was a really good one. Dig Dug, honorable mention there. But my pick is Ms. Pac-Man. And I know that it's just basically Pac-Man with a bow on his head, but it's just a better game overall. It's
still a good game.
Yeah.
I am a dyed-in-the-wool Dig Dug stan.
Yeah.
That was the first arcade game that I ever played.
I don't think I played
a very special place in my heart for it.
See, the reason I didn't go with Dig Dug is I was considering, but I don't think I played enough of it to justify that, you know? Okay, 1983. This is another one where I could have picked any amount of games. There were a lot of important arcade games, but I decided to go with another PC game with Ultima 3 Exodus. Which was also, by the way, the first Ultima game I ever played. So it was my introduction to RPGs in a lot of ways. Okay, for 1984, this is going to be a bit of a dark horse pick. There were a lot of great games that came out in 1984, but the one that I picked was Karateka. And I have many fond memories of this game. If you've never seen it, it is a side-scrolling fighting game where you're this karate man trying to rescue your girlfriend from this evil warlord, and you can do kicks and punches and stuff. It was on like Apple computers and IBM computers and all this, and I just have so many memories of trying to get as far as I possibly could. Never got very far in it, but it's a great game.
Oh. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that one, but that sounds awesome.
It also had very fluid animation for a PC game of its time. Okay, 1985, I was very tempted to include a few different games here. I think that the one that I was the most tempted to pick was Commando, because I played the shit ton of it. But there's no getting around the fact that Super Mario Brothers came out in 1985, so that's my pick. Okay.
And a classic for a reason.
Yeah. 1986. This was tough. Castlevania came out in 1986.
Ooh.
The Legend of Zelda came out in 1986. I might get banned for Reddit from saying so, but Metroid came out in 1986. If you know, you know. But my pick is Dragon Quest. It is my favorite series of all time. Okay. This is not the last time you will hear the words Dragon Quest on my list, but I played the shit out of Dragon Quest. Okay, good. I hope Jesse is still listening at this point, because he's sick, but he's going to cheer on this one. 1987. This is where it gets controversial for everybody who is not Jesse. I did not pick Contra. I did not pick Double Dragon or Final Fantasy or Mega Man or Metal Gear. I picked Zelda 2. Ooh. I love Zelda 2. I think it was the best game of the year. And I know
that is a spicy take, but I respect it.
It is a spicy take, and there's a few spicy takes on here, and that's like the first and biggest one. I know Jesse is a big Zelda 2 stan. I love that game. I probably play through it at least once or twice a year, even if I'm not like streaming it or something. I will play it on my 3DS or on an emulator or whatever. It's a great game. For 1988, okay, this is another one that there's just too many games to pick from. Mega Man 2, Super Mario Brothers 2, Double Dragon 2, a lot of sequels. Super Mario Brothers 3 was very tempting, but the game I went with was Dragon Quest 3.
Well, of course.
Dragon Quest 3 is amazing. It felt like they took Ultima 3 and made it good. You know, they modernized it quite a lot, and I know it's only been a few years since Ultima 3, but there you have it. 1989, this was probably the easiest one to pick. There's a lot of games that you might be thinking of, but I chose Tetris.
Surely.
Tetris is my pick for 1989. And I know that, technically speaking, Tetris was released earlier. I'm going by the NES release because that's the one that I played the most of.
Yeah. It is a legendary game, truly.
Yeah. I also played the Game Boy one quite a lot, too. 1990. Now, the 90s, every single year was very hard to pick. I mean, there were just too many games. Super Mario World is a big one. But I picked The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
That was 90? Oh my
1990. Yeah, I'm going by the Japanese release date here.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. 1991. Oh, I'm sorry. I screwed up. That was not 1990. That was 1991. 1990 was Dragon Quest IV. I'm sorry. I missed that. Dragon Quest IV. What a great story for an 8-bit game. You already heard 91. I fucked up on that. But 1992. This was a tough. And I had it down to 2 games, and one of them was Street Fighter II. But the one that I picked is Dragon Quest V. It's the game that will make you cry. The first time you play it, at least. It's better played on the DS, but the Super Famicom game is no joke. 1993, this is probably the easiest one. It just sucks that there's so many great games that I didn't get to pick, like Star Fox, or Gunstar Heroes, or Super Street Fighter 2, or Mortal Kombat 2. Very tempted to put Mortal Kombat 2. But 1993 was the year that Doom came out, so that's my pick.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. 94, I felt a lot of pain on this one because it was down to 2 games, and it was Final Fantasy VI or Super Metroid, and it was very tough for me to pick one, but I chose Super Metroid.
I probably would have gone with Final Fantasy VI,
it's a tough one, you know.
Yeah,
it's a tough one. Probably just because I've replayed Super Metroid so many times.
That I will say that does have a lot more replayability to it.
I mean, Final Fantasy VI I've played multiple times, but just I don't know, not as many times, you know. Okay. 1995. This was easy. I didn't even look at the whole list of games that came out because Chrono Trigger came out in 1995. So
say no more.
Easy, right? Easy.
Say no more.
1996. This was interesting because there were a lot of... This was a very transitional year. You know, like Nintendo 64 was coming out. The PlayStation was starting to come into its own. I still chose Super Mario RPG as my pick for Game of the Year. I think it's just that good. It was going to be either that or Pokemon Red Blue. That was a tough one. Those
came out in the same year?
Wild, right?
Whoa, my mind just got exploded.
1997. This might be one of the best years for video games ever. Quake 2. Tomb Raider 2. GoldenEye, Star Fox 64, Final Fantasy VII. But my pick is Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
That is a very good game.
Yeah. I mean, I just recently played it on stream twice. So you could tell. I was like, okay, well, let's play the Saturn version now, you know?
Like, now let's do this one again. Yeah. I liked it so much. We'll do it twice.
Well, you know, I'd never played the Saturn version, so it was cool to do that. 1998 is another really strong year. You had Resident Evil 2, Metal Gear Solid, Street Fighter Alpha 3, one of my favorite fighting games of all time, which I'm streaming on Mondays now, by the way. But my pick is The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Okay, 1999. This one I agonized over for several minutes because there were a lot of good games, and almost all of the games that I was drawn to were fighting games. So, and we were all like, all my favorite fighting games seem to have all come out in 99, but the one that, hey, Almighty Santa, how's it going? The one that I picked is Street Fighter 3 Third Strike Fight for the Future. Very close that I wanted to put Garou Mark of the Wolves in there. There were a few other fighting games that could have been put there, but my game of the year has to be Third Strike. I still play it.
There's a lot of really solid choices that you're going with. So
now, in the year 2000, I didn't even look at most of the list because Chrono Cross came out in the year 2000. And I love Chrono Cross almost, not even almost, just as much as I love Chrono Trigger. 2001 is rough. 2001 was a rough one because I actually had a difficulty connecting with any of the games. There were good games, but there wasn't anything that really, really grabbed me by the nuts. So I was sort of like down to Capcom versus SNK 2, and I was going to pick that, and then I saw that Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal came out in that year, so that's what I picked.
Oh yeah, that is a great choice.
2002 was another easy one because The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind came out. So that just kind of shut down everything else.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not great with release dates because I will tell you that have not gotten to a year that I have owned a video game.
Oh, okay. It feels like an older game than it is, doesn't it? Like you think Morrowind feels like it came out a really long time ago. All right, 2003. This was another rough one because there were a lot of my favorites. But the one that I picked is Castlevania Aria of Sorrow.
Ooh.
And by the way, I can tell you that I think Castlevania might be the most represented. Actually, either that or Dragon Quest. All right.
I was going to say the late 80s, early 90s was very Dragon Quest heavy.
Well, yeah, you're going to see some more Dragon Quest. Well, speaking of which, 2004 was an easy one because Dragon Quest VIII, The Journey of the Cursed King, came out then. I really didn't even need to look at the rest of the list. Nothing compared to that. It was the reason I bought PlayStation 2. So there you have it. 2005 was another sort of like, you know what I mean? Nothing was sort of jumping out to me. I wound up going with Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow because it's almost as good, you know? Yeah. The other game that I sort of drew me in was Devil May Cry 3, but I've only played that recently. I played that last year for the first time. Excellent game, but I don't have the replays and the you don't
really have the longevity nostalgia for it.
Exactly. All right, 2006. Another Zelda game. It's Twilight Princess.
Very worthy. Very worthy.
All right, 2007. This one was tough. A lot of fantastic games came out. But I had to think in this case of what I played then. Because it's easy to look back and say Halo 3 was great, but I've played that recently. So it kind of came down to Metroid Prime 3, which I thought was pretty great, and BioShock. And I wound up going with BioShock on this one.
Oh, that's a really good choice.
2008. This is going to be a bit of a take. People are going to be like, "What are you smoking?" But I'm thinking about the game that I played a lot of, that I was almost obsessed with at the time, and it's Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Believe it or not,
ooh,
it's easily my favorite Smash Brothers. Melee stands can kiss my ass. Yes, Melee was good, but come on, get with it. And I really haven't cared all that much about a Smash Brothers since then.
Yeah, I do. Worthy choice both on the list and within the Smash Brothers oeuvre, shall we say.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot else that really drew me in there. 2009. This was a tough one because, Batman Arkham Asylum very nearly made it onto my list. Ooh. That is a huge game, but the game that I picked is Dragon Age Origins.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I'm not the type to include Minecraft, so...
I've never played Minecraft.
I've never played it in my life, so...
I don't really want to.
Yeah, Mario Galaxy was a contender, Wayne, but I just... Like I said, Brawl was what I was playing that year. All right, 2010. There's no competition here. There's no competition. I was basically playing one game, and it was Sid Meier's Civilization 5.
Yeah,
I have thousands of hours in Sid Meier's Civilization 5. I probably like 6 more, but 6 came out in a year with a lot more competition. So it didn't make it onto my list, but Civ 5 made it onto my list. 2011 is an easy one because Skyrim came out in 2011. Like, I'm not going to pick Skyrim.
That's another one that, like, I think about, and it feels more modern than it is. But I think it's just because they keep re-releasing it.
Yeah, they keep giving us a new version, and damned if I don't play every version that comes out. All right.
There's a reason for it. So
2012. This was, I remember my pick being controversial at the time because it was sort of like, okay, how do I put this? 2012 was a really strong year for games. This pleases Todd Howard. Okay. And there were a lot of really high-profile games that came out, but for me, I have to go with the one that I was sort of obsessed with, and that is Fire Emblem Awakening.
Ooh.
And I remember I posted on Facebook like a top 3 games of the year, and I said, I posted number 3, I posted number 2, and then I said, and here's number 1, and there's an ocean between number 1 and number 2. There's an ocean. Number 2 was Black Ops 2, by the way. Great game, but Fire Emblem Awakening, oh my god. That was an obsession. 2013. Okay, here we go with another controversial pick.
Ooh, spicy time.
Because I very much wanted to put The Legend of Zelda Link Between Worlds in this spot. And I know that the game that I picked was one of those games that was very popular in the moment, and then suddenly people were like, it wasn't that good. That didn't happen to me. So my pick for 2013 is BioShock Infinite.
Ooh.
And it's interesting because I didn't get to include BioShock 2 just because there were different games that came out that year, and I do think that BioShock 2 is the best of the 3 BioShock games, but we're going by years here. So Link Between Worlds, I was very tempted because that was a great game. But yeah, 2014, I wouldn't say this is a spicy take, but I think that it's a game that most people would not consider. And it is Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Ooh.
It is by far my favorite Wolfenstein game. It is one of the best shooting games I've ever played, a first-person shooting game. And not only that, but I love the innovation that it had, the mechanics that it had, the way that it controlled and evolved. The idea of playing a shooting game with a keyboard was evolved. And I enjoyed every second of it. And I also thought it had a really good story. So that's my pick there.
Nice.
Okay, so 2015. This is the one that I was talking about here. So the issue with 2015 is my pick is Xenoblade Chronicles. And you might be thinking, didn't that come out earlier? Yes, it did. The initial Japanese release date came out at the same year as Civ 5. The European release date came out in the same year as Skyrim. The American release date came out in the same year as Fire Emblem Awakening. So I'm like, I have to include those games, so I chose the 3DS release for Xenoblade so that I could.
Okay.
Yeah, I did buy a new 3DS specifically to play this game. That tells you a lot. You know what I mean?
It does.
I needed a new 3DS because the old models weren't going to handle this game. Okay, now my most controversial pick of them all.
All right, so this is for 2016?
2016.
Okay.
And it's good that you're my host here because, yeah.
Oh, boy.
It's good that it's you because you're not going to disagree with me. So let me just say that 2016 was a great year and that I was very tempted to include the Doom reboot, which is not really a reboot, but whatever. Doom was a big one, and I know that there was like a big Uncharted game and then Overwatch and Dark Souls 2, and I didn't play any of those games.
Sure.
I didn't play Fallout 4. I haven't played Persona 3 or The Witcher 3 yet. There are a lot of these games I just haven't gotten to. And for the first and only time, I have chosen a non-console, non-PC game. My game of the year for 2016 is Pokemon
I know exactly.
Go. It is Pokemon Go. I still fucking play it.
I also still fucking play it, as we know.
It's just, I mean, and yes, it wasn't that great when it came out, but it was a cultural milestone.
Yes, I could not agree more. That is...
it's a way better game now than it was then, but it came out in 2016, and it wasn't even close. What am I going to say? Forza Horizon 3? I don't really play those games, you know?
Yeah, no, there's something about how Pokemon Go impacted the world.
It really did, and like I said, I was always like a Pokemon fan, but this made me into a Pokemaniac. I'm bringing it up right now.
Have friends who just didn't really do Pokemon when we were younger, but loved Go and got into the franchise through Go.
I'm going to switch to the webcam here because I want to show you guys. You can tell how much I've played it because these are the spawns at my house. Can you see that?
Hang on, I'm bringing you up again real quick.
That's just me sitting here. I'm not moving.
Yeah.
That's a lot, right?
That's pretty significant. That's even more than I have at my house right now.
There's no stops anywhere for miles. There's nothing but road. But that's just shows you because they do base the spawns off of where people are playing the game. So yeah, that's just to show you that's an easy pick for me. It's going to be a spicy take for some people who are like, oh, mobile games aren't real games, hey EB. But yeah. Wait, didn't I make a reference to EB earlier about? Oh God, what was it? It was something so funny. Mind Goblin. No, not the Mind Goblin thing. It was I said something like, well, if you know, you know.
Oh,
what
year the game came out on Reddit?
Oh, that's right, because I said that Metroid came out in 1986, and I might get banned off of Reddit for saying that. At least temporarily. Okay, so for 2017, this is where you're going to see a shift in the way that I pick games. There were a lot of high-profile AAA games that came out, including Breath of the Wild, Samus Returns, Fire Emblem Heroes, but this is the year where I was... Oh, it was Tumblr? Oh my bad.
Okay, now I understand. Okay. Now I know.
It was Tumblr, okay. Horizon Zero Dawn, which I did enjoy. I didn't get to beat it, but I did enjoy it. But this is the year where I start to get drawn... And you'll see it. There are still going to be AAA games, but I start to get drawn more to the indie scene here. And the game that initially that I remember thinking at the time when I played Cuphead was going to be my game of the year. Ooh. But then a little game came out called Hollow Knight.
Yep, that's what I thought you were going to say.
And I had never experienced an indie game that was that perfect before. And I have never been so hyped for a sequel as I am with Hollow Knight. So, yes, that is my unquestioned pick for Game of the Year 2017. 2018. This is another one of those where I could have picked this game on a different year if I wanted to, because it had a few different releases. But regardless of what, I knew that I had to include Dragon Quest XI on one of these. Dragon Quest XI is easily my favorite Dragon Quest game. And that's saying a lot. 2019. Yeah. this was an interesting one because I was actually looking at my library of games that all came out in 2019, and there were a lot of fantastic indie titles, but in this case I had to pick Mortal Kombat 11.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. 2020. This is a big one. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is unquestionably my favorite game of the year. Nothing else came close. And I know a lot of people, The Last of Us Part 2, came out. Ghost of Tsushima. I haven't played those. Final Fantasy VII Remake, I haven't played it. I haven't played it. Are you saying Dragon Quest 12, Almighty Sen? Are you a time traveler? Because that's not out yet. I think you mean 11. But yeah, easy pick for me. Okay, 2021. This is an interesting one where I thought I was going to pick an indie game, but I didn't. It was Ys 9 Monstrum Nox.
Oh.
Yeah, great game. It's not my favorite Ys game. Ys 8 is my favorite Ys game, but Ys 8 came out in the same year as Hollow Knight and didn't stand a chance.
Not happening, no.
Not happening. Maybe they'll re-release it sometime, right? But yeah, no, Ys 9 was the game that I loved the best out of all the games that came out in 2021. 2022. When I initially came up with this idea, I thought, oh god, it's going to be all fighting games, you know? And I wound up not really including, I mean, Karateka's in there, and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike is in there. But I didn't really include very many of the Neo Geo games that I grew up playing in all the arcades strewn throughout Brooklyn, New York. But I had to put the King of Fighters 15 as my pick for Game of the Year of 2022. Yeah. And then 2023, last year.
Drum roll.
Yeah, it's Mortal Kombat 1. I'm still playing it. It's just that good. Mortal Kombat 1 is awesome.
Nice.
Such a great game.
That is a great list.
Well, thank you. And I guess we're ranking me out of 43. I will not rank myself, but...
No, I will give you the full 43, because even if I wouldn't have agreed with the picks you made, I understand why you did, and they make perfect sense for you, as this is your list.
I'm just glad I had you as my co-host today, because nobody else was going to accept me saying Pokemon Go was Game of the Year for 2016.
No. Man, Pokemon Go was like... I
still play it. You know, if I need a raid, I could just say, like, at least get me into a raid. That's what I did with Typhlosion, right?
Yeah, and what's the next one coming? I guess Decidueye should be within the next couple weeks.
I kind of like want them all for Pokédex reasons, but you know, I have a real soft spot for Typhlosion in general. It's my favorite Gen 2 Pokemon by a lot, and I happen to think that the Decidueye and Samurott redesigns are kind of fucking ugly.
I was really mad about the Samurott redesign because I think it's heinous. And I love
it is. It's gross. And Decidueye looked fine and they ruined him, but look at Candace. Candace is my Hisuian Typhlosion. She's a sassy bitch.
Candace is beautiful. I love her.
She's a sassy bitch. And I gave her good moves, by the way.
Nice. She's competitive?
Yes, she is competitive.
Hell yeah.
I got her up to 2487 so I could use her in Great Cup. She has a 14 attack, 15 defense, and 12 HP.
Oh, she's perfect.
That's pretty good, right?
That's very good, yeah.
And I gave her Hex, Shadow Ball, and Fire Punch.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect moveset.
I had to look up what is the competitive moveset for Typhlosion right now, and my webcam keeps falling. Hello?
Hello?
So, hello. I have more lists that I can do, but let me go to the List Critics channel. I know at least Moogle submitted a few things there. Moogle and Wayne submit. Okay, so Moogle sent the top 10 worst characters in great fighting games, and another one that was the 10 absolute worst fighters in Mortal Kombat. And I was like, oh, Jesse's going to love this because he loves worst lists. But he's listening, so he could still enjoy them. But
do we want to save these for Jesse then?
Well, like I said, Jesse is listening.
Okay.
So he can enjoy them that way. But
It does look like there's also the best levels of Ultimate Doom ranked as well.
I didn't see that. Where do you see that?
It's right under the worst fighters in Mortal Kombat history. There's no.
Oh, it didn't give a thumbnail.
Yeah, okay. There's no thumbnail for it.
Okay, all right. We'll do all of these. All right. So first of all, the worst characters that are in great fighting games. It is interesting because it's easy to pick worst fighting game characters. I'm on the wrong screen here. What's wrong with me? It's easy to pick worst fighting game characters when you're picking from games that suck. Right? I can easily say, oh yeah, the Scottish guy that shoots fireballs out of his dick is terrible, but who played that game, you know? Like, come on. But yeah, picking worst characters from good games is interesting. So number 10 from Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2 is Hercule Satan.
Oh, I love that.
He's not even good as a joke character, they're saying. He just doesn't really do any damage. Okay. Isn't that kind of the point of a joke character, though? Like, you know? That's like Servbot in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. He sucks, but that's because you're picking a joke character.
Right.
Number 9 from Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance is Mocap. And their argument for Mocap, other than the fact that he's just a guy in a mocap suit, is that he's kind of annoying to unlock. You have to beat the game with every character to get Mocap, and then he sucks. But so I guess like having an unlockable character being just some dong in a mocap suit is fine. But the character that like you unlock by beating everything, you should get something good for that.
Yeah, it feels like if you're putting that amount of work into it, you really should get something worthwhile. Like I don't. Yeah. I know you probably haven't. I know you're not Vampire Survivors.
I haven't played it now, but I've watched EB play it. I've watched EB play it.
Oh, I adore it, but it's one of those where like once you do all of like the big things, the character you unlock is extremely OP, and I love her.
That's what you should get.
But it makes sense in progression.
Yeah.
So I can see why they would not be on board with this guy.
Mortal Kombat 5 had a pretty... Oh, you know what I haven't done that I should have... I'm not recording this. I'm going to have to download the VOD. That's shitty. Mortal Kombat 5 had a pretty strong roster, all things considered. So yeah, the big unlockable being a joke is kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Number 8 from Soul Calibur 5. Wow. From Soul Calibur 5 is Patroclus. Yeah, Patroclus is kind of the reason that a lot of people didn't like this game.
Oof. Oh, it's Sophisti's kid?
Yeah, so oh, you shouldn't be looking along by Sophitia. You shouldn't be looking along. It's supposed to be like a surprise. But Soul Calibur 5, he's the main character. He's like the dude, you know? And the thing is, he's not likable. Like, he's kind of a dork. And nobody likes him, so...
No.
Yeah. Number 7 from Street Fighter V is Birdie. Now, Birdie is a traditional Street Fighter character. He was in Street Fighter 1. He was in all the Alpha games. He did get a heavy redesign because they made him black. He was originally a white guy, and he makes a joke about it in Street Fighter Alpha 2 where he said he was just pale because he was sick. And they gave him a new hairstyle, made him fun to play, and all this. Then Street Fighter V, they decided, what if he was really overweight?
Oh.
And his entire reason for being in the story was that he's looking for food.
Oh.
And his victory pose is throwing a bunch of donuts into the air and then catching them in his mouth like he's Homer Simpson. So they kind of took a good character and ruined him. And he's just like every like large person stereotype that you can think of. They did offer an alternate skin that's more like the Street Fighter Alpha Birdie, where he's just very muscular, but he still does the donut things and throws soda cans at people, and it's just like a really lame fat shaming joke that shouldn't have been in Street Fighter.
Not a fan.
Not a fan myself. Number 6. Oh wow. Number 6 from Mortal Kombat 11 is Kronika. They are saying that she is the worst Mortal Kombat final boss. Can't agree. Blaze is the worst final boss, and I'll tell you why. Because Blaze was playable in MK5, and then suddenly is the last boss of 7. That makes no sense. Kronika, at least, was a new character. I have the feeling of she's the first female final boss, so she's on this list. That's the feeling I have from CBR.com. Just saying.
Oh, yeah, that's very CBR.com.
Yeah. Number 5 are the Mii's in Smash Ultimate. Their argument is that it's a waste of a slot. My argument against that is when you have when you have 90 characters, you know, who cares?
Yeah, like you've got so many characters. I'm sure you can find one you like more than the Mii if you want to play that.
And the interesting thing is that just even the picture they use demonstrates that through the Mii fighters you can play as Dante or the Dragonborn or Shantae, or he's not included here, but Sans. You know that. There are a lot of characters that
do Gino.
Yeah, there are characters that didn't make it in but became Mii costumes. I do think the Mii thing's a little outdated at this point, but at the same time, come on, who cares?
Yeah, I think it's a fun nostalgic tint.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's sort of like like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 had 2 Wolverines. That was a waste of a slot.
Yes.
And by the way, they only did that because Marvel told them they had to. Like, there needs to be 2 Wolverines. Why? Just do it. Number 4 from Tekken 7 is Negan. This guy from the Walking Dead TV show is in Tekken 7? Really? I mean, Tekken 7 kind of went hard on the guest fighters because Akuma's in it, and Geese, and the dude from Final Fantasy 15, and apparently this guy with a baseball bat from Walking Dead, a show I've never watched. Lame. They're saying he feels like a meme. I can dig it.
He didn't age well, basically.
Number 3 from Pokken Tournament DX is Blastoise. Their argument for Blastoise being in this list is just he's low tier. He's just crappy. That sucks. You want Blastoise to be good, right?
You'd think, people have a lot of fondness for the Gen 1 starters and their evolutions.
Absolutely. And he's arguably, in competitive Pokemon, the mainline series, he's the best of the 3 starters. Number 2, this is a spicy one here. Akira from Virtua Fighter. Isn't he the main character of the entire series?
That's a very spicy take in that regard.
They're like, well, Virtua Fighter, that main dude who's basically the Ryu or Scorpion of the series? Yeah, that guy sucks. Their argument is that his design is very generic and that he's surprisingly hard to use for a main character.
But doesn't, half of the... I don't know. I feel like that's just kind of a standard martial art kind of design.
I agree that that's not that big of a deal, but I understand what they're saying. If that he's a difficult character to learn, like usually if if you're playing Street Fighter, Ryu is not difficult to learn. You know what I mean? If you're playing Mortal Kombat, you can get the hang of Liu Kang pretty quickly.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so they're basically saying that for a main character, he's not a particularly simple decision.
And number 1, and they're going. This is interesting. From Tekken, they're picking Eddie Gordo, and their reasoning here is the opposite of Blastoise. They put Blastoise on the list for being low tier, and they're putting Eddie on there for being high tier. That he's just too fucking overpowered. And basically, because if you ever played Tekken, which I hadn't played a lot of it because I'm not a fan, but if the other person picks Eddie, you just know they're going to just start spamming, and then there's not much you could do about it. He's too hard to defend against. So I guess they're hating on him because it's sort of a character that you could just sort of press buttons and cool shit happens and it kills another person,
The character I would play.
There you go. Out of 10, I'm knocking a few points off of here for Chronica. I'm gonna give it a 7. Other than that, pretty good list.
Say a 6 or a 7.
Yeah.
So
I feel like their rationale for Chronica was sus at best.
Yeah, and some of them were I feel like the impact of some of them were not as good as the others.
That's true, yeah. All right, also, this is from ScreenRant.com. Moogle sent this in the 10 worst Mortal Kombat fighters. I don't know what criteria we're going by, but we'll find out. Oh, no, there's no numbers, but the first one is Takeda? Takeda Takahashi from Mortal Kombat X? Really? Why do you not like Takeda? They're saying
What's their logic?
That his moveset is flashy and impractical. That's the point.
So they've never played Ivy?
That's the point. You do cool shit.
I think this one's gonna make us a little punchy.
And he's such a great character. He's Kenshi's son, but he was raised by Scorpion. So his fighting style involves sort of both of their styles. It's a very cool thing, you know, that he can use swords, but he also has the whips. But, you know, I don't know. Takeda's fucking cool. Wow, the hate on Mortal Kombat X includes, because the next one is Farah Tor. Oh, they're joking. They're gotta be joking with this.
I don't like this one.
First of all, they say that Farah is a child. Farah is not a child. She's a little person. I mean, come on.
A big difference there.
They're not gonna put a child in Mortal Kombat. Okay? Let me just get that out of the way. It's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. She's
a little person, and Tor is a very big dude. Farah Tor is actually really fun to play. They have a cool story. 0 out of 10 on that one. Okay, so the next one is Bo Raicho. I mained this dude in Mortal Kombat X. So, but I understand completely why they put Bo Raicho. Mortal Kombat X was a big glow up for him. Because they toned down, because he's a big fat guy, and initially he's the big fat guy that can crush you with his belly, and he pukes on you, and he farts, and he's gross. That wasn't cool. Mortal Kombat X reimagined him as a drunken fighter, you know, that with the very fluid motions. He has a bow staff that he fights with, and he minimal farting and puking.
Okay, so it's a little bit more logical, this placement. Okay.
So I think that, like, early on, Bo Raicho was absolutely terrible. They made him better in X, and then in Mortal Kombat 1, which is a complete reboot, they have completely replaced him. He is an old woman now. So the very first chapter of Mortal Kombat 1 has Raiden and Kung Lao at a tea house owned by Madame Bo. And I didn't make the connection between Madame Bo and Bo Raicho right away until it was revealed that she was the one that was teaching them Kung Fu. And I was like, oh my God, she's Bo Raicho reimagined as a lady. And, you know, and I always said that, you know, there's very few fighting game characters that are like little old ladies. You don't see it. You see old men all the time. Unfortunately, she's not playable, but she does do some sick shit in the cutscenes. Jarek is next. Yeah, I understand that. I understand why Jarek's here. Jarek we wanted to put Kano in Mortal Kombat 4, and we changed our mind at the last second and just made him some dude in a goatee. And you can tell that he's Kano because one of his fatalities involves laser eyes, when this guy has no reason to have laser eyes. So, yeah, I understand that. He's just pretty generic. Oh no! Reiko's on this list. How do you all just diss my man Reiko like that? When did this list come?
Really nice characters.
When did this list come? Oh, it came out in 2021. Yeah, they gave him a huge glow up in Mortal Kombat 1. Huge glow up. I already liked him, I'll be honest, but they made him way cooler in the new game. Suhao, agree. He sucks. Worst character ever.
Oh.
Suhao he's just, the only thing that I'll say that's good about him is that he's Mongolian, which you never see a Mongolian character, so it's sort of cool for representation, but he is just lame.
But he sucks.
He's terrible. There's nothing about him that's interesting. Hotaru's on why is Hotaru on this list? Bro, what? Okay, I know that, like, the 3D era from Mortal Kombat 4, 5, 6, 7 is, like, the less popular era, and which is kind of like why I really like the new game, because it brings a lot of these characters back in a major way, and it's a love letter to especially Mortal Kombat 5, 6, and 7. Hotaru's cool, though. He didn't get a big redesign, but they're bitching about the flags on his costume. Come on. Come
cheap.
On. That's, yeah. Movado, oh man, I want to like Movado, but he does suck. He's got a really cool design. Movado looks cool. He's got a cool backstory. And then you fight with him, and it's like really goofy, cartoony sound effects playing, and he's got like these like stretchy things coming out of his hands, and it's like, imagine if you thought you were playing as Neo from The Matrix, but you were actually playing as Bugs Bunny.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's just a little too weird.
That's weird.
Striker, yeah, ACAB.
Oh, fuck that. Yeah, no.
Drawman, I like Drawman to a certain extent, but I understand why Drawman's on this list, because they basically took meat and gave him a mask and a club. Oh, that was the last one. Okay, out of 10, about half of these belong on the list, and about half of them piss me off. So I'll give it a 5.
Yeah. I was thinking 4 or 5.
Yeah. Okay, also from CBR, the top 5 best levels from Doom.
I am very interested to see.
Is this all original Doom? Okay, this is all original Doom. Okay, I just needed to know. All right, so the very first level, Episode 1, Map 1, Hangar. Iconic. As soon as you see it, you know what it is. You could remake this level in any game, and people will just look at it and be like, "That's the first level from Doom." Yeah. Episode 1, Map 8, Phobos Anomaly. This is the last episode. This is the last level of the shareware version of Doom. So if you didn't buy the game, this was the last level. And it was interesting because you look at it and it's like, oh, there's only 8 enemies in the whole stage. What's going on? And then you fight the Bruiser brothers, you know, the 2 Baron of Hells that come out, and it's the first time running into a very powerful enemy like that. And it's very iconic. Episode 3, Map 6, Mount Erebus. Nah, fuck that level, bro. That's the worst level in Episode 3. It's just a big clusterfuck of who knows where to go now. Episode Map 3, Warrens. That's a secret level. So it's sort of interesting. Tough level. Surprise cyber demon out of nowhere. I agree. It's a good one. The best of the secret levels, I think.
Okay.
Episode 4, Map 2, Perfect Hatred. Are you perfectly insane? I've never ran into anybody that likes Perfect Hatred.
Oh.
And I've said this, I've had discussions with June many times where we said that this would be perfect if it was like level 6. The fact that it's level 2, you're coming out of level 1, it has barely any ammo and health drops, to be immediately assaulted from like 3 different angles. I don't know anybody that wasn't angry at this level. Okay, well that was all of them. How many were there? 5. 3 out of 5 for me, because the other 2 I can't agree with.
Yeah, I think
Perfect
that just
Hatred.
based on, as I'm not a Doom player, I will defer to your expertise in this, but it definitely sounds like they picked some pretty good ones and
there's some
real
clunkers in there. Yeah, there's some clunkers. Okay, this is a list that Wayne submitted from bucketlistjourney.net, and it's 45 hilarious ideas and things to do for your bucket list. Just a list of things you want to do while you're still here on this planet. Okay, so I'm just going to, let's see, number 1, meow every time you receive an email at the office.
Oh, God.
That's going to be a very annoying meeting with HR, you know?
Yeah.
Number 2, accuse someone of farting in an elevator.
Oh, no.
Wait, now, here's the thing. Do you fart yourself and then blame somebody, or do you just blame somebody for a fart that hasn't happened?
Oh. I mean, are we really gonna have to play the "He Who Spelt It Dealt It" card?
Yeah,
like,
right?
Come on.
Number 3, ask someone, do you see that cow barking, or is it just me? What?
Okay.
What kind of weird shit is this? Number 4, block a store's door at and ask for the secret entry password. Oh, it's poorly formatted, but I guess they're saying stand in front of a door to a store and demand that people tell you the password before you let them in. It's an excellent way to get banished from the premises. Number 5, bring a fishing pole to an aquarium. That's funny. Just show up with a fishing pole.
Oh,
I don't think they'll let you bring it in, but that is funny. Number 6, buy a poop-shaped birthday cake for your best friend.
Okay.
It is a little shitty. Hey. Number 7, call someone to tell them that you can't talk right now. I actually heard this on the Howard Stern show. There was this dude, Sour Shoes. He's not part of the show, but he would send them calls that he did. And one of the things that he did was he kept harassing one of their news people, this guy who took his job way too seriously. And it's funny because he now works as an anchor for like one of the local news stations where I am. So I hear that voice and I'm like, that's Steve Langford. But anyway, he kept calling Steve and just bugging him with stupid shit, like singing him silly songs. And he kept, hanging up on him. But one of the, like, he did this for over a year and then they played like a montage of it. Imagine somebody prank calling you for a year. That's a bit much, right?
Yeah.
But it made a great montage, But anyway, and especially because the guy kept yelling at him instead of just hanging up. But one thing he kept doing was he would call him and he'd be like, Langford. And he was like, oh my God, Steve, I can't talk right now. Can I call you back? And he did that like a few times in a row. And I'm like, that's actually pretty funny.
That's a pretty good one.
Call someone and be like, oh my God, I can't talk right now. Let me call you back. Number 8, convince someone that you're from the future. Doesn't it seem like every 10 years or so there's somebody like that becomes like a big meme because they claim that they're a time traveler?
Way.
And then they just disappear.
Nobody actually believe it?
Nobody believes it, but because they always make a bunch of predictions that are either really vague or way too specific. Number 9, crash a wedding and give a toast.
Okay, that's at least kind of an interesting and ballsy kind of move.
Do you know who I've heard does this is Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks will just show up at a wedding and make a toast.
I mean, I'd say sure.
That's pretty dope, right? Yeah. Number 10, create a random piece of art and put it on sale for $1 million. Art can mean a lot of different things, and I remember hearing a long time ago, and I was just thinking about this not too long ago, because this certain ex-friend of mine was really angry about this guy who decided to make what amounted to a sculpture completely made out of his boogers. And
but go on.
Yeah. So he kept it in it. He made like a ball out of snot. And I guess that it was about the size of like say a golf ball, which doesn't sound big, but that's a lot of fucking snot.
That's a lot of boogers.
Yeah. And he kept it in an egg cup, and he tried to sell it as a modern art piece for like a lot of money. Not $1 million, but like a lot. I think it was like $100,000. And I remember this person that I knew was very angry about this. And I'm like, why are you so angry? And he's like, how does this guy get $100,000 for picking his fucking nose? And I said, he's selling it for $100,000. Nobody's giving it to him. Yeah. Nobody was buying it. They're all telling him he's an asshole.
eBay auction that's got like it's for like $1 million, and then. This
guy wasn't doing eBay. He was trying to get this sold at like to galleries and shit. He was delusional if he ever thought that was going to happen, Number 11, dress mismatched.
Okay, that's just me getting dressed in the dark. Next.
Well, I guess they're saying on purpose.
Oh.
Yeah. Number 12, drive around in a clown costume.
Okay.
Why? Number 13, eat vanilla pudding out of a mayo jar. That's funny.
That's funny.
That's good. That's like sort of like drinking Powerade from a Windex bottle, that kind of thing. Yeah. Number 14, follow a friend around for the entire day. What, to be annoying or? I don't know.
Yes.
Number 15, glue coins to a street in the crosswalk.
In the crosswalk where there's like traffic?
You know what? I that doesn't sound like it. Maybe on the sidewalk.
Yeah, sure, but like the crosswalk where you're walking. No,
don't do that. Number 16, go in an elevator and then make peekaboo sounds when the doors open.
Okay, that's a good one.
The doors open and you just go peekaboo. Number 17, go streaking. That seems to have died down since the 70s.
There's a lot more public indecency laws on record.
Yeah. Definitely. Could be considered sexual harassment. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Number 18, go up to strangers and act like lifelong friends. You know, just walk up. Hey, how you doing? It's been
going,
a long
buddy?
time. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of people will play along with that too, and because they're afraid. Oh shit, I forgot who this is. I can't let them know. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I had someone try that. I had someone try that shit with me on like AOL Instant Messenger once.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. And I remember I was like, look, I don't know who you are, you know, and they're like, you know me, you know, and all this, and
Nah, man, I know.
And I was like, you better tell me who you are. You're about 5 seconds away from blocking you, right? And I remember that they said, if you block me, you'll never know who I am. And I said, oh, yeah, I'm cool with that. It's not that important for me to know. Number 19, have an argument with a mannequin at a store. I mean, I guess if you want to wind up on somebody's Facebook compilation.
Like people of Walmart. Oh
Yeah.
God, haven't thought about that.
I don't like people of Walmart, to be honest.
Because it's just classist.
It's very mean-spirited, and it's so clear that a lot of those people are posing for those pictures specifically to be on that website.
Yeah, a little bit of that, a little bit of let's make fun of a fat person in a store.
I don't like it. Number 20, hire 2 private investigators to investigate each other.
That feels expensive, but also pretty funny.
If you got the money for it. The problem is they probably know each other, you know? Maybe if you get them from different cities or something. Number 21, jump into a taxi, then shout, follow that car. You know, from what I've heard from taxi drivers, that happens all the time. It's really not that uncommon.
Interesting.
Yeah. Number 22, laugh randomly for 5 minutes in a public place. Well, you know, when I was streaming Blasphemous 2, when I was on the stream starting soon screen, and I had the soundtrack from Blasphemous playing, and somebody mentioned something about a banana seed or something, and hop on my banana, you know, and I just started singing this song. So there's a clip of it called the Banana Song, where I'm just like, hop on my banana, baby. Yeah, it's got it all. You know, I'm making up words, but I'm singing it to the song. And apparently Wayne was watching this on like the subway.
Oh God.
And was cracking up randomly for like a while, and people giving him looks like, what the fuck's wrong with you, you know? If you look in my like recent featured clips, you'll find it. And the thing I say at the end is, the fucked up thing is, it sounded kind of good. Number 23, let the kids draw on dad while he's sleeping.
Oh, I'm sure he'd love that.
Yeah. Well, it depends on your dad, I guess. My dad would have hated that.
I don't think mine'd be too keen.
Number 24, make a hilarious photo calendar. What makes it hilarious?
No, it's just funny photos on a calendar.
Ugh. Number 25, make a prank call. Been there, done that. Been there, done that, moved on.
Yeah.
Did that when I was a kid. I would call information and ask for their number. Like the operator's number.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Number 26, only speak in song lyrics for a day. I've never done that, but I did speak in a rather loud Scottish brogue for a whole day because of a bet.
Nice.
Somebody bet me. I didn't lose a bet. Somebody bet me that I wouldn't do it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you got your money out of that.
I just proved that I would do something that stupid. I was 20. You know.
Well, there you go.
So I was in Taco Bell, and I'm just like ordering in like Scottish brogue, you know, like really just like imagine like groundskeeper Willie.
Yeah, like real
not a realistic accent at all, right? But this kid's never seen me before. He doesn't know that I'm not. So I'm trying so hard to make this kid laugh, and he's making that face that I don't want to get in trouble. I can't laugh. Avery's he's all scrunched up, and he's trying, and I'm pouring it on, saying the most ridiculous shit, and everything's funnier in a Scottish accent, you know?
Right.
And he made it through. He didn't laugh. I'm like trying to break him. Oh. This kid, he must have been like 15 years old. I'm trying to break him. I'm like, damn.
That's adorable.
So anyway, we're eating our food. I go to the bathroom. I come out of there, and I see the same kid. He's mopping the floor. And I walk, he sees me coming out of the bathroom, and he's got that look like, oh boy, here we go, you know?
He's blazing.
And I walked right up to him, and I go, I left it in there so you could see what your food did to me. And then I just walked away. And I didn't really do that, by the way. I didn't really, I flushed like a normal person. Yeah. But that's what I said. And I looked at him, and all I could see was him leaning on the broom, his whole body shaking with silent laughter. You know, he's like, you know, and I'm just like...
We call that the dog whistle laugh.
The dog whistle laugh, yeah. He was doing that, like, he looked like he was in pain from trying to laugh as hard as he was without making any noises. So, yeah, it can be fun to talk in a weird way for a whole day. Song lyrics, that might be difficult to keep up with, though.
Yeah, challenging, but terrible.
Number 27, play hide and seek in IKEA.
Oh, man. That's a challenge.
I've never done this, but I've known people who have done. I'll tell you what I did in IKEA. They used to have these like signs that look like word bubbles, like from a comic strip. And I saw one, it was like near a chair, and I just sat in a chair doing this with my... like I was talking like... and like, it looked like the word bubble was coming out of my mouth. This lady, this about my mom's age, came by and saw me and just lost her shit. Number 28, poke someone in a crowded place and point it towards the other person and leave. No, don't do this. That's assault.
Yeah, no, don't touch somebody.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Number 29, pretend to have a very personal phone conversation in a public place. So what do you like, yeah, the rash is really clearing up. Thanks for letting me borrow your ball cream, you know?
Like, oh, the divorce is going great. I can't wait to get the next one.
Number 30, propose to a stranger when they're with their family. No, don't do that.
No,
don't do that.
Don't involve other people in this.
Yeah, don't involve strangers. I said this one earlier. Number 31, put blue Gatorade on a Windex bottle and drink it.
Ooh, you predicted it.
Definitely do that. It's really funny.
That is funny. That's right up, and you can get your mayo jar full of pudding, too.
The funny thing is if somebody comes and slaps it out of your hand.
You just wasted my Gatorade.
Then they know you're an asshole. Number 32, put invisible ink on somebody's white shirt. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's a bad one. Number 33, put Vaseline on your hand and give people a handshake.
Ooh.
Well, that's just gross, though, because they're going to think, oh, my God, what have you been doing?
Yeah, right? Slimy.
Don't do that.
Not even getting into the other potential.
No.
No, don't
Number
do that.
34, randomly place gnomes in your neighbor's yard.
Okay, yes, do that one.
I kind of like this. It's like a reverse vandalism. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're giving them something.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one.
Number 35, refer to a stranger as mom. It's even better if it's a guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Number 36, say yes to everything for one day. That's great until somebody catches on to it. And then you're in a Jim Carrey movie. Number 37, speak in a made-up language. Okay.
Feels tricky.
Yeah. I mean, I could speak a little bit of Elvish, but not enough to just go around talking. Number 38, speak in third person all day. I mean, don't, because that's annoying.
Yeah.
I hate when people do that. Number 39, start a food fight in a family or friend get-together. I mean, this can go one of two ways. You actually successfully start a food fight and everybody has a blast, or you throw a meatball at somebody and then they punch you. One of those two things happens, right?
Yeah.
It's a 50-50 shot.
I have never been involved in a food fight.
It happened all the time in junior high. And,
really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I didn't get involved with it because I prefer to eat food.
Yeah.
So I would just go under the table until it was over.
Wow. Yeah.
Most of the guys that were in my class would just be like, "Oh, fuck this shit," and then we go under the table.
Yeah, no, I never experienced anything like that. I always thought that it was just kind of something that they made up for, like.
Oh no, it would just happen.
TV shows.
And it would just it was like, you ever been to a baseball game and they do the wave?
Yeah.
It was like that. But
oh,
fat,
wow.
Yeah, where it would just like come up, and then I'd be like, oh shit, here we go again, you know? And like I said, that like the guys in my class would just go under the table and we just wait for it to be over because we weren't interested in getting like tomato sauce in our hair, or, you know. Number 40, switch your friend's phone to a foreign language. That's too easy to fix.
Yeah. I feel. I mean, it's an easy enough fix, but it's also just annoying.
Yeah,
like,
it's
not funny. It's annoying.
Noon sense prank, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Klingon. It'd be funny if you can't actually speak Klingon, but you just walk around like you can. You'd be like,
just make really guttural noises that just sound like you're dying constantly. You got Klingon.
Yeah. Number 41. Take a stuffed animal to the vet.
It depends on how far you get. Like, bring it into the receptionist, okay, fine. But if you actually like trying to pay money to... No, don't do that.
I have mixed feelings about this because on the one hand it's kind of cute, but on the other hand you could be taking up an appointment slot that a real animal could need.
Yeah, like I said, if you just walk in and talk to the receptionist, okay, fine, you're not hurting anybody.
Yeah.
But if you're actively taking space away from an animal that could use the care,
I've heard that some vets will do that for kids, but
that's cute.
Yeah. Number 42, text some random number saying I killed him and hid the body in your backyard.
You can't do that anymore.
I mean, you can, but the police are absolutely 100% going to visit you very soon.
Yeah, exactly. It's way too easy to trace a number now.
I mean, I used to do something like that on AOL Instant Messenger because there used to be this very poorly thought out feature where you could message a random person.
Yes.
And
oh my God,
I'd be like, and it would just be like, and I kept stabbing him, but he wouldn't fucking die, and oh, sorry, wrong person, Usually people knew I was fucking around, so. Number 43, vacuum your lawn. I mean, if you want to absolutely ruin your vacuum cleaner, do this.
Yeah, that's let Carl the Roomba go free.
Number 44, wear a funny couple's Halloween costume. I mean, that only works if you're going to a party or something. It's only really funny if it's not Halloween.
Yeah. What would be funny is if you were the only one wearing half of the couple's costume.
Oh my God.
Like
what if you both show up as the horse's ass?
That would be funny.
Yeah. Number 45, wear a funny temporary tattoo. Well, how fun? Is it Mickey Mouse blowing himself? That would be funny.
The monkey anus one around your navel.
Oh no. There's actually more. Okay. There's one more because it was supposed to be 45, but there's actually 46.
Ooh, a bonus.
Wear an ugly Christmas sweater in the summer. I don't think
a little warm, but not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
If you want to be sweaty as fuck. Okay, yeah. Out of 46, about half of these are funny. About another 25% are not funny, and then the other 25% are illegal. Or immoral, possibly. So I'm gonna split this down the middle, and we'll call it a 23.
Yeah, maybe like one or two more for me. Maybe closer to like a 26, 27, but still not like a full 45 by any stretch of the imagination.
There's definitely a few things in there that you should never ever do.
Yeah, there were some that definitely tickled my funny bone.
I mean, there's some ideas in there. Yeah, I like the mayo jar thing. That's funny.
That's a good one. And the Windex. The not Windex.
Yeah. You know what is another one? You could eat fudge out of a diaper.
Oh,
right. That's a good one, right? Okay, I got more lists here. Here's another one from Pleated Jeans here. And this is 40 funny stand-up jokes that get to the punchline quick for people with short attention spans. So just rapid-fire jokes, I guess. So number 1. I hate LA. I found there are only 2 types of guys who hit on me. 15-year-olds who are horrified to find out I'm 22, and pedophiles who are also horrified to find out I'm 22.
Oof.
I guess you need the picture to go along with this, as she's very young looking. Yeah. Number 2, why don't they make the whole table out of the coaster? That's a fair point.
That is a fair point. Yeah. Like, why are you making a table out of something I can't put a
It's a very Seinfeld sort of joke. Like Kramer would come up with the idea of making a table made out of coaster. Number 3, trying to fix someone is like trying to hit a vape after it falls in the toilet. Sometimes they've just been through too much shit. I didn't see the punchline coming. That's good. That's good. Number 4, while healing the man who was born blind, I hope Jesus said sorry. My dad can be a real jerk sometimes.
Okay.
Oof. Number 5, big fan of rompers. When you see someone wearing a romper that says hi, I like to shit naked. Because you got to take the whole thing off.
You do. You do.
Unless you have that butt flap.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Or a crotch snap, which is its neighbor.
Yeah, that is a thing that can happen too. Number 6, my wife is very manipulative. My friends say, then why'd you marry her? Because she's very manipulative.
Okay.
That's fair.
Shouldn't have laughed. That was a good one.
All right. Number 7, I'm athletic the way a plastic bag is athletic. I can dodge traffic, but I'm not going to lift more than 1 gallon of milk. Can't retain water, but I can choke out a seagull. You didn't need the last part. It was good without that last part.
Yeah. The first part, like, they just stopped?
Stopped at the gallon of milk. That was your punchline. Number 8, I grew up between 2 strip clubs in Queens, Wiggles and Goldfingers. Neither one would hire me. But neighborhoods in New York City change quickly, and both of my childhood strip clubs are gone. I miss Wiggles more. Wiggles was split into 2 businesses. Half of Wiggles is now a casual seafood boil restaurant, and the other half is a carpet store. A strip club was replaced by a seafood restaurant and a carpet store, and I didn't even have to write that joke. God did. Not much has changed, but you can still get rug burn and crabs under one roof.
Oh.
That really wasn't a quick joke.
That took way too much explanation.
Yeah, like like that could have been pared down a bit.
Yeah.
Number 9, I want to get in shape, but it's so hard to lose weight when people will still have sex with you. What? What are you saying? That's not funny.
I don't like that song. It's
actually funny how not funny that is.
Yeah, none of these have not even just gotten radio silence from the 2 of us simultaneously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a few that were like the manipulative one, the romper one was good. You know, there's a few good ones so far, but there's also some that are just like, what the fuck? Number 10, it's way harder to dance when you're depressed. I can only throw my ass in a downward spiral.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's good. Number 11, a woman said my mustache made me look like a police officer, but there's a big difference between a cop and a comic. As a comedian, I just do my job and then I tell people I killed. As a cop, I would just kill and then tell people I did my job. I'm not going to... Then he adds, I'm not going to hell for telling that joke, but I'm probably going to jail.
Okay, good one.
I like that one. Number 12, disgruntled Cleveland fans are blaming PC culture, but the real reason the Indians changed their name is so their opponents will quit trying to steal home. Oh!
Ooh.
Oh!
Whoa!
That's like a high-quality Simpsons joke.
Yeah.
That's too good for stand-up.
That's a good one.
Holy shit.
I did not see that punchline coming at all.
Neither did I. That is like a really high quality, like a Simpsons joke, you know?
That almost redeems some of the shitty ones on this list.
Wow. Number 13, my girlfriend and I live together. Every time she's coming back to the apartment, she sends a quick text that says, headed back, as if to say, whatever weird thing you're doing, you have 20 minutes to cut it out. That's real, though.
Yeah. Oh. Like, put pants on. I'm coming home.
Stop helicoptering. Number 14, I can't read or count. Triple threat, baby. It's a very Mitch Hedberg style joke.
It is. Yeah. But Mitch Hedberg will always get me.
Number 15, I made the mistake of telling my Uber driver I'm a stand-up comedian. Without a moment's thought, he said, stand-up comedy is only funny if you're, like, really drunk. So I said, I feel the same way about talking to my Uber driver. Fair enough.
Ooh.
Fair enough. Number 16, I heard my neighbors chanting 4 more years, and I thought it was a political rally. Then I remembered it was an anti-vax family celebrating their kid's 4th birthday. Oh. The satire. That's good. Holy shit. All right, number 17. I guess if I had to choose one thing I miss about being actively addicted to heroin, it's that my relatives never ask me to watch their kids.
Ooh.
I'm happy that he's in a place where he could joke about it, but that's not actually funny.
But yeah, it was more funny. Like a caught off guard kind of laugh than a... Ooh.
Number 18, my ex and I used to role play in the bedroom a lot. Her favorite game was Sexy Librarian, which is where I'm not allowed to talk and she reads a book instead. Nice. Number 19, my girlfriend is from India, but she enjoys a lot of basic white girl things like yoga and chai tea. Okay. Okay. That's almost funny.
Yeah, the seed was there.
Yeah.
It didn't develop properly.
Yeah, that one actually needs to be longer.
Mm-hmm.
Number 20, for me, shooting a gun is a lot like giving a hand job. Like most women, I'm not very good at it, and I would really rather just put it in my mouth. Oh my God, that's terrible.
Ooh.
Is this what stand-up comedy is now? They just talk about how much they hate themselves? Yeah.
No, I'm not a big fan of that.
No, is this the trend?
I like the old irreverent kind of stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
This is the same girl that keeps showing up on a lot of these. Here's another one from her, number 21. A lot of audience members get uncomfortable when comics try to do crowd work on them. I get it, though. I also hate it when homeless people try to talk to me. Is she saying that she's homeless, or... I don't get it.
Yeah, I didn't really get that one.
Is this what stand-up has been reduced to? It's pretty bad. Number 22, my dad friend told me, you being Russian-born makes you complicit in this invasion. I was like, I've lived in America since I was a little kid. I'm only complicit in Iraq. I don't get it. And I'm not being obtuse on purpose. I literally don't get it.
Yeah,
All right. Oh man, I might have to cut this one short. It's getting bad. If we don't get a good one by number 25, I'm just gonna stop there. Okay.
That's totally fine.
Number 23. I used to smoke pot and go to class, sneak in 10 minutes late with a bullshit excuse, slink down low at my desk, pray to God nobody asked me any questions. I was the best teacher ever.
Okay, that one did get a little bit of a laugh, but not like a big one, just a little one.
I saw it coming from like a mile away, though. You know.
Yeah.
Again,
the setup.
Yeah. Number 24. My dad did that thing where he went out for cigarettes and smoked them all and died when I was a child. Maybe the guy's delivery is good.
Yeah, I feel like that one probably works better spoken.
Yeah, I think that could be like a Stephen Wright joke, you know, like my dad did that thing where he went out for cigarettes, he smoked them all, and died when I was a child. Dr. Katz is like, excuse me, what? Number 25. If this one ain't good, we're stopping here. Do you think that whoever invented the hula hoop thought that kids weren't dancing sexy enough?
No.
Right. All right. Well, this is a wash. Out of 25, the 3? 3?
I'm being a little generous with a 7.
That's pretty bad. All right, let me pick a different one here. Okay, I got some funny signs to go through. You want to do that? That seems a lot better.
Sure.
Right? There's 50 of these, supposedly, 50 funny signs from bars and restaurants.
Okay.
So this first one is very simple. It just says 3D Tinder. That's like such a boomer joke, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, this next one says, water for your dog or short people with low standards. We don't judge. Hey, if you need water, you need water.
Yeah.
Because I had to scroll down a bit. There is
was there like a dog bowl?
There's a dog bowl there. Okay. I didn't see it because it's such a big picture.
Okay. In that case, yes, funny.
Number 3, this one says, Mexican food so authentic Donald Trump would build a wall around it. I gotta admit, that would make me want to eat there.
I would eat there.
I absolutely love Mexican food. Especially like really authentic Mexican food. And I'm not against like Taco Bell and shit. That shit tastes good too, but I like the real shit too.
There's a difference. Like sometimes you want Taco Bell, sometimes you want real Mexican food.
Okay, so this is a Luby's sign, and apparently this sign was heavily damaged by what I can only assume was either a car crashing directly into it or a tornado, because it's all fucked up. Ooh. But they put the words on the sign says, you should see the other guy. That's pretty good.
That's a good one.
All right, number 5. Let's see. Open as usual. This pub is so good that someone tried to get in 8 hours before we open. Oh, see, I didn't notice this police tape around it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that makes it funny. Number 6. Rules of the cafe. Please note, no smoking, no bargaining, no loud telephoning, no washing hands and plates in plates and glass, no combing hair, no flirting with cashier, no mischief making, no stealing newspaper, no heavy petting, no spoiling flour. Oh, spoiling floor is what it says. No running away, no sleeping in toilet, no matchsticks, no discussing gambling, and no address inquiry. You know, they say that if there's a rule for it, then somebody created that problem, right? Who was sleep? Do they mean in the actual toilet, or are they referring to the bathroom as the toilet?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder. All right, number 7. This one says, I don't want to get technical or anything, but according to chemistry, alcohol is a solution. Well, I mean, that's a good sign for a bar. That reminds me of I was joking around with a friend at work, and I said something like, violence is the solution. And this old lady that I didn't even know came up to me and started harassing me about that's wrong. Violence is never a solution. And I could have just been like, lady, it's a joke. But I decided to fuck with her. So I said, name me one solution that can't be solved by violence. And I knew that no matter what she was going to say, I was just going to go shoot him in the face. So she starts with like, well, let's say your son is doing drugs. And I go, shoot him in the face. And she's like, that's not a good solution. I said, I didn't say it was a good solution.
Was a good one, just this one.
You know? Then she realized I was fucking with her. All right. Oh, no. This one has one of those yes-no check boxes. Says, have you ever tried alcohol? And the X is pretty far away from where the yes and the no are.
Oh, boy.
That's silly. This one says, did you know that 2 to 3 glasses of wine per day can reduce your risk of giving a shit? I did know that.
Seems logical.
Yeah. This one says, keep in mind, this is a bar. It says, husband daycare center. Need time to relax? Need time to yourself? Want to go shopping? Leave your husband with us. We'll look after him for you. You only pay for his drinks.
I saw a short video like that the other day, but it was Home Depot, not a bar.
Oh, well, that works too, right? I don't know. That's a very, like, boomer joke to me.
Yeah.
This one's on a coaster. It says, this coaster used to be a car. That car never made it home. Okay, so that's not a funny sign, but that's sort of like, I like the message, though.
Yeah.
Don't drive. Don't drive drunk. Don't do it. Not smart. Number 12, maybe broccoli doesn't like you either. It shows these broccolis with these sad faces.
Oh,
I actually like broccoli, though.
I love broccoli.
You know. Number 13.
I had broccoli for dinner last night.
Yeah. Oh, I like this one. It says free beer, topless bartenders, and false advertising. I like it.
That's a good one.
Clever. Number 14. Please do not tap on the glass. It scares the bagels. I just posted one in my meme channel not too long ago that was similar to that, but it was pasta instead of bagels. It said don't tap on the glass. It alarms the pasta. Number 15, things that are difficult to say when drunk. Cinnamon, indubitably innovative, preliminary, and proliferation. Things that are very difficult to say when drunk. British Constitution, loquacious, transubstantiate, and passive-aggressive disorder specificity.
Oh.
And then we go to level 3 here. Things that are downright impossible to say when drunk. Thanks, but I don't want to have sex. Nope, no more booze for me. Sorry, but you're not really my type. Good evening, officer. Isn't it lovely out tonight? Oh, I just couldn't. No one wants to hear me sing. And you're right. I can't jump over that table. You know, they had us in the first half with...
They did.
And then they got us with a good message, though.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It wound up being more wholesome than I would have expected.
Yeah. Like, there were still a couple of those that I was just like... But then at the very end, I was like, you know what?
It starts off with... Yeah, I mean, because it's telling you consent is important. It's hard to stop when you're on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's all these good messages. I really didn't expect it to go in that direction.
Yeah.
That's actually really... Fuck off, Moogle. Okay. This one just has a picture of a man sitting on a toilet, and it says yes with a thumbs up. And then a picture of the man bent over spraying diarrhea in the general direction of the toilet, and it says no and a thumbs down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you have to actually be sitting on the thing. Number 17, Cafe Royal Circle Bar. Every loaf of bread is a tragic story of grains that could have become beer but didn't. I like bread too much, though.
Yeah.
To go with that. Bread is awesome.
I think bread way more. I mean, I don't drink.
Yeah, understandable.
So I would rather bread.
I mean, I do enjoy a beer every now and then. I'm not exactly a big drinker, but yeah, bread is every day, though, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, this one's good. Small coffee, $5. Small coffee, please, $3. Hello, one small coffee, please, $1.75. I mean, yeah, let's make the people without manners pay more. I'm into that. Okay. So this is at a table, and it has just a sign pointing at the table, and it says, worst table in the house. Sit here and get 10% off your meal. Does not apply to alcohol, tax, gratuity. I wonder what makes it the worst table.
Yeah. Is it by like an open door? Is it drafty? Is it loud?
Yeah. It's too cropped in to see what's wrong with it. Yeah. Number 20, oh my God, somebody punched a hole in the wall and then they framed it.
Oh, I love that.
And it says, an ode to my tiny, tiny penis, artist unknown 2016.
What I have named it something different because I'm not big on the body shaming.
I probably.
But I love the concept.
I would have avoided the body shaming joke, but I maybe an ode to my uncontrolled rage or something.
Yeah,
you know,
or
an ode to my childishness, perhaps. You know.
Yeah.
An ode to my disrespect for others' property. The body shaming.
Toxic masculinity. Maybe something of that nature.
Maybe if they. I mean, if you wanted to go with a dick joke, maybe smelly penis.
Yeah, there you go.
I used to follow a streamer. Unfortunately, she doesn't stream anymore. But she was saying small dick energy is body shaming, which is very true. But she came up with stinky dick energy, and I was like, I'm going to start saying that from now on because that's funny. It's better even.
Yeah.
Number 21. You'd think hip hop music would have more bunnies in it, but no.
Aw, cute.
Well, we really don't know how many bunnies are involved in the hip-hop scene.
That's true.
Maybe we need to be asking these questions.
Maybe they're there and we just don't know.
So this is on a rock, like one of those like big smooth rocks, and somebody wrote on it, says, in case of fire, turn me over. And then the other side says, not now, stupid, in case of fire. Because, you know, everybody's just going to like, what does it say on the other side?
Turn it over.
Yeah.
What's there?
Yeah. Number 23, price is subject to change according to customer's attitude. If you're arrogant, douchey, irritable, or just a pain in the ass, there'll be a... This is hard to read. There'll be a charge for putting up with your shit. There's a number there, but it doesn't make any sense to me. Okay, this one must be in the bathroom because it says, toilet not flushing, please do not panic. Step 1, press and hold flush handle down. Step 2, wait a minute. Step 2 again. Think about the last time you held their hand in an art museum in Luxembourg. The fact that they left not long after didn't surprise you, but the hollowness in your life left by their absence, even all these years later, does. Step 3. By this point, the toilet should have flushed. Thank you for your cooperation.
I like that.
The only thing that doesn't make sense is there's 2 step 2s, so I thought maybe they would come back to that, but they didn't.
Oh.
Yeah. Number 25, the Nevermind Bar. And they have some blurbs here. Overrated. The beer was too cold. And it says, what the fuck near that. Very untraditional. BBQ was sold out. No empty seats. It's not the Ritz. Guy behind the bar needs a shave. Come and see what 7% of people... Come and see why 7% of people don't like us. So I guess they're highlighting their negative reviews.
Clever marketing.
Yeah, it is clever. I like that. Number 26, it says, Fife residents, we heard you have no AC. Come into Detroit Beer Company after 1 p.m. today. Cool off with $1 pint. Your neighbors in DBC. That's not bad. I like that. Nice. A good way to drum up business while doing something good for the community.
Yeah.
Number 27, the tavern is called the Duck and Cover, and the picture is a duck wearing like a helmet.
Huh. Okay. I'll take it.
Apparently, it was established in 1387, so that's a very old joke.
Oh.
Number 28, Oh my god. So this is a piece, this is written on a napkin. Like, well, it's not written, it's printed on the napkin. So it's a bar napkin. And it says, "Dear cab driver, please take me home to," and then a blank spot where I guess you could write your address. "Look for cash in," and then you can check off your bag, your socks, your pocket, your shoes, your cuff, your thong, your shirt, your wallet, or other, when in this space to write that. That's actually a good thing to have, but you should probably not encourage cab drivers to go rifling through your thong.
I agree.
Number 29, Casey's. The fact that there's a highway to hell and only a stairway to heaven says a lot about anticipated traffic numbers.
Okay, that's a good one.
That's not where I would have gone with that, but okay.
No, but I like that.
I would have said the fact that there's a highway to hell and only a stairway to heaven says something about accessibility.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah. Number 30, must be 21 to enter, no club colors, whatever that is, no knives or weapons, no wife beaters, pull your pants up, don't be a dick, no exceptions. Yeah, well, if you want to, if you want,
colors is
that
colors. Mostly.
I've never heard it called club colors before. Maybe it's a different country, but
yeah.
that seems very.
That feels a little racist to me.
It reminds me of like when I went to this arcade in Cleveland when I was a kid. It was the biggest arcade I've ever seen. It was 2 floors. I mean, the thing was insane. But they had all these rules. They had a dress code for the arcade, and one of them is like no ripped or faded jeans. And I'm like, are you joking? Really?
It's classist and it's racist.
Yeah, so that was kind of weird. This one says, no hipsters. Don't be coming around here with your hairy faces, your vegan diets, tiny feet, and your sawdust bedding. No, wait, hamsters. No hamsters.
Okay. They had me in the first half.
That's way funnier than I thought it was going to be.
That's a lot better than I thought it was getting.
Hamsters.
That's good.
No, wait, hamsters. Oh, that's good. All right. Number 32. Here for a beer menu. 1/4 of the fries, $1, only 25% of our normal basket. Solo onion ring, 50 cents, the only hoop you need to jump through for this beer. We're in a pickle, $1 for a deep fried pickle, and 1 cheese puffball, 5 cents. They usually come in a pair, but Wolf has the other one. This menu is only a 1/4 sheet of paper because, well, you know why. I don't know why. I understand that there are some places that their liquor license says that they have to serve food, and that might be why.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. If it's here for the beer, got it, okay.
Yeah. We think our staff is pretty amazing. Please don't kill their spirits with the use of negative or unkind words. If you feel you can do your job better, we are accepting applications. Nice.
All right. Yeah.
Actually, that sounds like a nice place to work at, right?
I like that.
Yeah. Number 34. All Americans must be accompanied by an adult.
Okay. Yep. We've deserved that one.
We do. I wonder what country that's in. Oh. It's probably like Ireland or something, you know?
Yeah.
Number 35. Why the female cashier is being nice to you, and is a pie chart, right? That's completely black. And it says the white color is she is uncontrollably sexually attracted to you, and the black part, which is 100% of the chart, is because that's literally her fucking job, you cretin.
That's a good one.
Yeah. There's a mint plant, and there's a sign that says mojitos in training.
Oh, cute.
That is cute. Number 37, attention, please be patient with the bartender. Even a toilet can serve only one asshole at a time. Sounds like a challenge. That's what somebody said, that fourth base is 2 friends shitting while holding hands.
Oh.
Not fourth base, but number 4, rather.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Fourth base is I think it's overthrowing the government or something like that. Number 38, wow, this is an old-timey font. Dear customer, so there seems to be a small portion of the population that feels an uncontrollable urge to ride on toilet doors that can't be stopped. We here at the Salt House aren't judging this action, but we are a small, friendly bar. We would hope that if you really feel the urge to wax poetically or to set your inner artist free while taking care of business, you would please use the Magnadoodle we have now, provided you. We really don't like painting the doors all the time. We prefer to serve you amazing beer. So in short, if you want to do the do while doing the do it on this, and if you are that proud of what you made on the Magnadoodle, please take a photo and send it to us on our Facebook page or send it to one of the staff, and we will proudly post it up for all you to see. Much love from the gang.
cute.
And there literally is a magnadoodle there with I can't really read what it says because it's like at a funny angle. It says something like, "You are not me and I am not you, but we." I can't read the rest of it. I don't think you should. I don't think you should be encouraging people to whip out the camera in the middle of the bathroom, but other than that, it's pretty cool.
Closed stall door, sure.
I guess, yeah. Number 39. Come and try the worst pizza that one guy in TripAdvisor ever had in his life.
Oh, I love those.
That's good. Oh boy. Number 40. This restaurant used to be a Cricket Wireless and figured out a way to save on sign costs. So they changed it. Instead of saying cricket, it says chicken. Like they just kind of rearranged the neon a bit.
Clever.
Yeah. That the restaurant called Chicken. Number 41. Unfortunately, during meal service, the balcony is a non-smoking area. We apologize for your slightly extended lifespan. Fair enough. Number 42. This is dumb. It says Happy New Year, and it has a picture of this guy waving a beer and a drink, and it says they can't deport us all on his shirt. Not sure what they're getting at with that one.
I feel like that one has more context to it that we're not getting.
Yeah, there's a cultural aspect of it with not knowing where it is or what they're referencing that we're not getting.
Yeah.
Number 43, it says, manager, you can't put memes on the chalkboard, and then like the bent over SpongeBob and the stagger cap saying, you can't put memes on the chalkboard.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Really good drawing, by the way, that they did with chalk. Number 44, it's okay to eat a whole pizza by yourself. Good.
Okay.
It is.
Sure.
Yeah. This is a picture of a sign somebody put up in the walk-in freezer where it's got Christopher Walken. And you know how he has that kind of like crooked mouth smile that he does? Mm-hmm. And the door handle, it looks like it's like hooking his mouth back.
Oh, that's fun.
It is. It's rather clever. Number 46, this week's special. Buy one beer for the price of two and receive a second beer absolutely free. That would actually fool a lot of people, I feel.
It would.
Yeah. Number 47, the sign says Uno Mas, and then in the next one, they covered up the... oh, I get it. Okay, so Uno Mas, I think, is... there's vacancy, and No Mas is no vacancy, I think. Like, it's a hotel. And they have, like, a little flap of black material that they can just put up to cover up the U in Uno.
Oh, okay, that's clever.
Yeah. Number 48, it has an arrow pointing towards the establishment and says nice drinks, and then an arrow pointing away that says, dunno, maybe bears? I wouldn't risk it. Nice.
Okay.
Number 49 is the Crossroads, warm beer, lousy food.
Hey.
Well, if they're honest, right?
Yeah.
Number 50, it says, hungry, we will feed you. Thirsty, we will get you drunk. Lonely, we will get you drunk. Hey, you can only promise so much.
That's true.
You can only promise so much. Out of 50, there were a few real gems in here, I feel. There were some that were not so great. I would say, I'm going to 37?
Yeah, I was going like a 35. So not too far off.
Around
there were
that,
some really good ones.
Yeah, there were good ones, and then there were ones that you were like,
more than a fair share of clunkers.
We got time for one more, and this is something that I've always wondered about.
Okay.
You know how at a wedding they always ask if anyone objects?
Yes.
Does anyone ever object? Right?
I don't know.
Well, we have 40 funny and or awkward stories of people who witnessed wedding objections. So it does happen. Okay, number 1, Disco Panda says, when the registrar was doing the whole will you marry, take Bill bit, there was a loud shriek of Bill. Paused the ceremony and everyone was looking around to find the source. The source was a small baby using this opportunity to speak one of their first proper words.
Oh.
That's cute. Not an objection, but I'll go with it. Number 2, groom found out the bride was cheating 2 days before the wedding day. He spilled the beans while exchanging the vows.
Ooh.
So did they go through with the marriage or not?
I don't know. That's like,
I feel like
you've gotten past the objection part there.
Yeah, right. I feel like that you shouldn't even have the ceremony then, right? Number 3. Many, many years ago, the wedding was at a bride's upscale residence. They had the rehearsal, and they thought they had anticipated every possibility. When the question was asked, it was too late to realize that nobody thought to stop the cuckoo clock. So, does anybody object? Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. It was a good 10 minutes before the laughter died down enough for them to finish the ceremony. The bridegroom and officiant chuckled their way through the rest of the ceremony. They've been married for over 30 years.
Good.
That's a good one. I wonder if there are any actual stories of people objecting in here. Number 4, the mom of one of the bridesmaids got up and yelled, "Yeah, I object. You fucking stole him from her," while pointing at the bride. I've known the groom for a long time, and by proxy the bride. I am still very good friends with them. I have never seen... And then it cuts off. Oh, here, her more infuriated than at that moment. The bridesmaid got up from her chair and was like, "I'm so sorry. Let me get her out of here." The bridesmaid and the bride's stepfather escorted the woman out of the wedding, and it continued.
Wow.
That was actually number 4 and 5 for some reason. That's why I was confused. But yeah, that's rude. Don't do that. You didn't steal somebody from somebody. Come on, that's not how it works. That's not how relationships work. Number 6, the poor bridemaid. Not only she endured the wedding of someone she loved to a friend of hers, she swallowed it, confessed her feelings to her mom, only to have her mom betray her and shame her in front of everyone. What an awful situation. I think that might have been replying to the previous one. Number 7, my mother passed away about 15 years ago. 5 years later, my dad married my now stepmother. It was an outdoor wedding on a beautiful sunny day, and during the spot where they usually ask if anyone objects, a big gust of wind came out of nowhere and knocked over some tables. Afterward, multiple people came to tell me that wind gust was my mother objecting, which I like to believe was true. Okay. That was also number 7 and I think I'm going to stop saying the numbers because a lot of these are like split up into multiple images and they're numbered for some reason, so we're just going to not do that. All right, let's see. A woman in her 20s at the time objected to her mom marrying my uncle, so she started yelling, "Mom, don't marry him," during the ceremony. The ceremony proceeded and some family on the mom's side led the daughter away to quit interrupting. I don't blame her. My uncle was a lying, lazy bastard. Their marriage didn't last. Well, maybe listen to your friend, right?
Yeah.
Or your daughter in that case. I object. Oh, this is a person who objected. This is great. I objected at my cousin's wedding. The dude had hit her multiple times. He was and is generally a douchebag. Every time I had seen him, he was drunk, and my cousin, who I was previously very close to, quit talking much and suddenly became very clumsy, falling down and hitting her face on things a lot. I see where he's getting at. I had no intention of going. Turned down being in the wedding party. Turned down going to the bachelorette party. My mother and aunt begged me to go over my objections. I told them why I didn't want to go. They made a bunch of excuses and told me I was just being jealous. Ended up going explicitly to object. Based. The priest did the speak up or forever hold your peace. I said that I object because the guy is an abusing pile of shit. Everything went silent. One of my cousins and my dad walked me out. The marriage continued. Nobody talked to me for about a year. Right after the dickhead got arrested for hitting her in the face with a hand mixer. What? How do you...
Oh, no.
Because she made something wrong. Turned out I was right. Yet they are still married. Oh, my God. Even though he has been to jail twice now for beating her. Downside is my parents wouldn't talk to me for a long time. Now my mom apologized for not believing me.
Oh.
That's not much of an upside, though.
No.
It's a shame that nobody listened.
Oh, God. That's tragic.
That is very tragic. All right, number 11. Hopefully this one's not as well, I'm not bothering with the numbers. Kind of. My uncle was getting married. Small, just a handful of family and a minister. I was videotaping. My grandmother was not into it at all. With each line spoken by the minister, she had a cutting, sarcastic response. I could not believe it was so unlike her. When that part came up, she said, I object, but does it really matter? They're going to do it anyway. The minister just ignored her and proceeded business as usual. They were divorced within a year. Wish I had a copy.
Wow.
She knew something.
Grandma knows what's up.
Yeah. One of my cousins is married to literally one of the kindest and coolest dudes I've ever met. Before the wedding, her little sister was saying she's marrying my best friend. At the wedding, when the priest dude asked if anyone objects, the room is dead quiet, and all you hear is a little girlish whisper, "I do." It was honestly really adorable, and we all laughed, and my cousin's husband and little sister are still best friends. I do. Let's see.
That's a cute one, at least.
I actually officiated my sister's first wedding.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah, I did that. And when we got to that part, I did it differently. I said, if anybody objects, I don't care. It ain't about you. My brother's wedding, the wife's older brother objected because of political differences. He was asked to leave by the bride's father.
Wow.
Damn. Where was he on January 6th? A relative visited one ceremony where it was asked if anyone objects, and the groom decided it's a good time for a joke and said, "I do." The lady who was going to marry the couple just turned and left. They had to go through all the paperwork again and change the date. Got married, divorced in like 3 years, if I remember correctly.
Oof.
Do you think that's like correct for the person being like, "All right, fuck you," and leaving like that? Like, really?
I mean, that definitely feels like there is...
Like they're taking their job a little too seriously. It's like, it's my sacred duty. A friend of mine has a band that plays lots of weddings and other parties. They were hired for a birthday party that turned out to be a surprise wedding. That's the worst thing I've ever heard, a surprise wedding. The guy surprised his girlfriend with a proposal and wanted to have a wedding ceremony then and there. She said no and left.
Wow. I mean,
never do that. That's so
surprise wedding.
That's so cringe.
No.
That's so cringe.
That's bad.
I remember a bloke turned up shouting "Mrs. Robinson" at a wedding. Bit blurry after that. He did like the movie.
Oh my god.
Mrs. Robinson. All right. Just wondering, what happens if someone objects and gives a valid reason other than cheating? Like, is there a protocol that needs to be followed up, or is it for the bride and groom to decide? See, I don't think there is any I think that when they're saying is, say it now or you don't get to say it again, you know?
Say it now or forever hold your peace, basically.
Number 20. Oh, who cares about the numbers? My dad marrying his third wife. My stepbrother and I were in the wedding party. He was about 6, I was 10. The preacher asks if anyone objects, and my brother raises his hand so very politely. My dad asks why, and my stepbrother replies, "Because I want you to promise to take me fishing whenever I want first." That's great. That's a thing a 6-year-old would say, right?
That is a 6-year-old thing, yeah.
My cousin was marrying a Korean guy she went to grad school with. Her family had come in from abroad and were sitting all together on one side of the room. When they got to the objection part, this Korean girl yells out no and stands up and starts screaming in Korean at the groom. As everyone is trying to figure out what the hell is going on, an old lady calmly walks up to the girl and slaps her face. The girl starts sobbing as some other older woman grabs her and pulls her outside. The explanation was that she was just a drunk friend that didn't want him marrying an American. Found out later that the girl was actually a childhood sweetheart that was screaming how the groom promised to marry her, which was awkward since the two were related to each other in some way. Not quite sure how. Anyway, cousin and her husband are quite happy, so no harm in the end. Yeah, wedding drama, I like it too, eBay, but I don't know if it's the same reason. I just think wedding culture is terrible.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it when people go the extra mile and then it's dramatic. I'm not against marriage, but I'm kind of against weddings.
There's a reason why my wedding was extremely small and very intimate.
Because a lot of times it's like you get an invitation and then it's like it's such a burden.
I gotta save the date.
Especially if people, you gotta say that sometimes you have to travel because they want to have a destination wedding, and I'm like, fuck you.
I don't have money for that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I gotta save the date from a buddy of mine from college that I haven't seen in 15 years plus. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I guess like you want to invite me to your wedding? I haven't seen you or spoken to you, but okay.
I mean, it's sweet, and I also have issues with the whole idea of giving the bride away. I think that's gross. You know, But
yeah. Shit like that.
But there's no, EB's right, there's no drama like wedding drama. Okay, at first I'm thinking, man, they slapped this girl? That's terrible. But turns out she was being kind of a horrible racist and wanted to marry someone she was related to. So I have less sympathy. Still some, because you shouldn't hit people. But not as much as I did before. I was at my cousin's wedding and someone screamed at the top of their lungs, "Objection, Your Honor," because my cousin is a judge. Okay. I mean, at least that's funny, right?
Yeah.
First wedding in Vegas, found a homeless guy to be a witness in exchange for a sandwich from Subway. Objected because it didn't have olives like he wanted. Rest in peace. Subway never be putting enough olives on your sandwich anyway.
That's very true.
Did you know that their procedure is to actually put 6 entire olives on a foot long?
That is not nearly enough olives.
Yeah. Okay, I tell you a story. I like Subway. I understand their business practices ain't shit and everything, but I like their sandwiches. I went in there once for a sandwich, and this girl had to be about 18, 19 years old. She's making my sandwich, right? And I'm just like, and I'd like a lot of green peppers, you know, like the sliced, the bell peppers. And she's like, a lot? And I'm like, yeah, I want you to put an amount that you think is unreasonable. And she's like, okay, cool. And she just put a whole bunch on, and I'm like, that's perfect, great. And she goes, watch this. Whenever somebody says, watch this to me, I know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
She calls over the manager, and she goes, is this the right amount of peppers for a sandwich? And the woman's eyes bug out because I told her I wanted an unreasonable amount, you know? And she's like, oh my God, no, that's too much. Sir, it's okay. I'll have her remake it. And she's like, relax. He asked for extra peppers. So
good.
He's like, when somebody says, watch this, I know it's going to be good. It's true. People will invite people that they barely know just to get a gift.
True.
Let's see. My dad's seen an objection. He volunteers at a church. The bride and groom were siblings.
No.
Oh, it gets worse. And their father hadn't told them until he objected. I believe he was... Yeah. They already had a kid. Perhaps you should have told them before they had a kid.
Oh, no. Oh, that poor child.
The poor kid, the poor couple that have to find out that they're brother and sister. That's...
Oh, God.
Gross.
That's bad. Don't like that one.
That's a good objection, though, but you should have made it way before the wedding stage.
Way too late.
All right. Priest here. Where I am, the only objection people can make is a legal one. It doesn't matter if they merely don't approve. I had one objection at a wedding where the person who spoke claimed the groom was already married. That's a legal objection. That's enough to stop the wedding. Turned out they were Serbian, which I knew, and didn't know our legal system. The groom hadn't realized the church wedding was also the legal wedding, so they'd married each other in a civil ceremony a few days before. That was fun to sort out.
Oh.
That's actually... Okay, so I mentioned that for my sister's first marriage, I officiated. I'm not like a minister or anything, obviously. They got legally married by the mayor a few days earlier.
Sure.
I just did the ceremony. You know, what's great is for my sister's second marriage, which is her current one, the mayor actually came to the house to marry them, which was nice.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a really good dude, and you never hear me say this about politicians, but he's a really great guy. He was a big activist in the 80s for AIDS and whatnot.
All right, cool. That sounds chill.
If you've ever heard, he's very chill. If you've ever heard the story about a group of people who put a giant condom over Jesse Helms' house, he was involved in that.
Nice.
Okay. Wait, Wayne, you can't say brusin. You know that June will say incest jokes are only relatively funny. When June said that, I was just like, fuck you, you're not allowed to be that funny. Right?
Dang.
That shouldn't be so funny. Because, like, Wayne said brusin, and June's like, let's not make incest jokes. And I'm like, oh, come on, it wasn't that bad. And then it follows it up with, they're only relatively funny. And I'm like, God damn, you had me there for a moment.
Damn, June.
Damn, I mean, when June wants to make people laugh, she knows how to do it. My ex-wife's aunt said to me on the wedding day, "You don't have to do this, you know." I should have listened.
Oof.
If you have a relative telling you that, you probably shouldn't go through with it because yeah. Not someone who had someone object to their wedding, but my older sister torments me about the second wedding I went to as a kid, first being my parents' wedding. Apparently, attention-seeking 4-year-old me thought this gap of silence needed to be filled with my best Cookie Monster impression. So during the silence, I yelled, "Cookie Monster, nom 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 nom."
That's good.
There's more, but I'm dying here. Obviously, everyone looked around at me in shock for breaking the silence before the bride and most of the congregation burst out laughing. This is the only wedding in my extended family that ended in divorce 4 to 5 years down the line. And as much as I am one of the people that gets stared at every time this moment happens in a wedding, the oracle known as Cookie Monster.
That's great. Oh, I love that.
You know what? This should be on the list that we had earlier of like weird bucket list things. Is object to a wedding as Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster. Nom 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 nom. By the way, I am not ashamed to say that I follow Cookie Monster on Twitter.
I believe I did as well.
And the shit that comes out of that Twitter is hilarious.
They're good. A lot of those, like, Sesame Street Twitter end up being way better than they have any right
He's
to
the
be.
only one I follow, but it's just hilarious. My wife's uncle, who owned the farm we were getting married, stood up at the objection part. Immediately his son, who was the man of honor, yelled at him to sit down. To his credit, he did. For about 12 seconds, then stood up again. He objected because there was a big fucking storm coming up the driveway and about to smack the ceremony, and all of our hurrying couldn't beat it. My wife made it inside before getting drenched. No one else did. Got married inside instead.
Ooh.
I feel like this turned into a Guns N' Roses music video.
It did.
Yeah.
That's just November Rain right there.
There's a whole middle part missing there that always confused me. You know,
like how it got from point A to point B.
Yeah, apparently it was explained in the short story that the thing was based on. All right, my husband's now former female best friend said, "You know, his parents prefer me. They want me to marry him, but I turned him down the morning of my wedding. My in-laws hate her." That's funny. Yeah, she's saying, "Oh, the parents would have rather it was me, but they don't like her." So.
Oh, I guess she's definitely got a little bit of a big head there.
Legend in her own mind.
Yeah, right.
Not my wedding, but at a friend's, a family member paid some kid $20 to run in and say, "Daddy, don't marry that woman," like it was his child. Did not go over well as a prank at all. You have to, if you're going to set that up as a prank during somebody's wedding, you have to know that they're going to be okay with it. If you even have 1% chance that they're going to be upset, don't do it.
Oh, no.
Like my friend Brandon, he would have loved that. Him and his wife. He would have loved that. I mean, he was dressed as a Frankenstein monster at his wedding, so they would have loved that shit. They had a Halloween wedding.
Oh,
I was in the wedding party and I had to wear a black and orange tux. It was weird. It didn't look as good as it could have. I'll just put it. Not an official objection, but when my mom was marrying my dad, my grandpa, her dad, circled her around the church over and over, telling her he didn't have to stop. She didn't have to go in, and they could just drive away. It didn't work. They're still married 30 plus years later. Eventually, grandpa learned to like dad.
Oof.
2 people objected. The best man shot one, and the bride shot the other. We were married on stage at a pirate festival. It was awesome. I get it. So they're having a play, in other words.
Yeah.
My dad objected leading up to my wedding, even went as far as making a Facebook, he's 60, and letting a bunch of people know he was against it. There was no way he could object at the wedding because he didn't come. Making a Facebook account just to tell people you don't approve of somebody's relationship is the most boomer-ass thing I've ever heard of in my life.
That's very boomer.
Yeah. On my first wife, my entire family objected. They said I was making a bad choice. They were right. I shouldn't have married her. So happy I divorced her 2 years later. Honestly, should have divorced her sooner. Honestly, shouldn't have married her to begin with. Thank God I had no kids with her.
Oof, yeah.
Damn. I'm just suddenly reminded of this video I saw on YouTube just the other day where it was this like true crime thing. And this woman thought that she was going to hire an assassin to kill her husband so that she could, like, I guess, get his money. And the guy was an undercover cop.
Wow.
Or rather, I'm sorry, no. She calls her ex-boyfriend to find an assassin. The ex-boyfriend goes to the cops, so they send an undercover cop as the assassin. And he meets with her. They're videotaping and everything. And she's talking about how she definitely wants him dead. She's 5,000% sure. And, you know, she's so blasé about the whole thing, right? And then she's at the gym, which is where she was supposed to be when this all is going to go down. She gets a call from the police saying, come over right away. And this cop is telling her there's been a shooting. Your husband was killed. And then she bursts out into tears. She was pretty good at acting like she was upset. But he was alive, of course.
Right.
They were fucking with her. Of course, she wound up in prison, you know, for, I guess, conspiracy to commit murder. It was the charge, I think. But but the fucked up thing is that after they reveal it to her, that it was all just a big fucking, like, you know, To Catch a Predator style thing, a sting operation. She's like, where's my husband, though? I want to see her. I want to see him. And this guy's just like, he don't want to see you.
Wow.
Can you imagine that she's going to try to tell him that, you know, whatever she wanted to, who knows what she wanted to tell her husband at that point, right? Like, he don't want to see you. All right, this is the last one. When I was a kid, I wanted to object at my cousin's wedding because his bride-to-be was mean. They're still married 30 years later, and she's still an awful person. Everyone knows he won't leave because she'd keep his daughters from him. Oof. It's a thing, though. Sometimes kids know these things. They can sense somebody, she's just mean, right? And they know nobody will take it seriously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But sometimes kids have, like, really good, I guess you could say that they're judge of character, you know?
Yeah. I definitely agree on that one.
Well, it was 36, but a lot of them were spread across several numbers. So let's just give this a letter grade here. Especially, so it was definitely less than 36. The header says 40. I don't know what's up with the internet recently. Nobody can count anymore. The computers do most of the counting for you, you know. But
I give that one a solid B, personally.
I would say a B plus.
Yeah, Cookie Monster definitely made me laugh. That's the highlight of this list.
That's the hardest I've laughed on Twitch in a while.
That was great.
Cookie Monster.
Sitting at work tomorrow and just think that Cookie Monster and just lose it.
You should go to your friend's wedding and do that, right?
Cookie Monster.
But no, don't.
Much better than the one before.
It'd be much better. Don't actually do. You know what? Get a clip of Cookie Monster and play it on your phone. Actually, I'll tell you a wedding. So my sister's more recent wedding, right? I'm there, right? And my aunt, she's not really my aunt, but we call her my aunt, right? My aunt in Florida couldn't be there, right? So I have her on my sister's, like, tablet doing like FaceTime. And I'm holding the tablet so that she could see the ceremony, right?
Sure.
And I think she forgot that people could hear her.
Oh, no.
So they're doing the wedding. They're doing the ceremony. The mayor's there. Very touching ceremony, right? My soon-to-be brother-in-law starts, like, weeping a little bit.
Oh.
And my aunt goes, is he crying? And I just go, yes, and he can hear you. And I just hear her go, oop. Oop. I'm like 5 feet away, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I just hear oop. Cookie Monster. Anyway, guys, we're gonna call it a day. Sorry that Jesse couldn't be here. He is watching, or rather listening on his phone. He is in the chat, so everybody give a good get well soon to Jesse, because he's not feeling well today.
Yes, send all of the good thoughts and the get well soons out to Jesse.
I will end the stream by saying something that I said before we even started to Elise. I'm going to tell them, okay, Elise?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so we have decided that going forward, we will have 3 permanent List Critics hosts. We will still invite guests to come on, but Elise has agreed to come on as our permanent 3rd hosts. So everyone, just a big congrats to Elise for being awesome and for helping me out here today and really riding solo because we didn't have Jesse here today. It's just you and me, and we had a great show. So we're still going to invite guest hosts. We're not stopping that, but we are going to have, it's always going to be from going forward, me and Jesse and Elise last Thursday of each month, unless something comes up.
For sure.
Because that does occasionally happen. Anyway, guys, we're going to go over the schedule and then we're going to do a rating because I completely neglected. I was on the phone with Jesse as we were starting, and I completely neglected to record this. I'm going to have to download the VOD from Twitch so that I could put it on YouTube. But let's go over the schedule. Here's what's going to go on. And by the way, if you do want to be the guest host for February, please let me know. Reach out, or if not, I'll start reaching out to people. But if you want to be on it, like I said, we're still doing that. That hasn't stopped, so let me know if you want to. So here's what's going on. Tomorrow afternoon, I am going to be playing a bit of Wolfenstein 3D, this time Spear of Destiny, which is the other prequel mission, and also my favorite Wolfenstein 3D game. It also has 2 expansions that I'm not so fond of, but the first part's really great. That's tomorrow afternoon. Saturday night, we'll be playing Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition for the Switch. Sunday night, more of Castlevania Legacy of Darkness for the Nintendo 64, which we will certainly wrap up Cornell's story and then start playing Henry's. I think Henry's is rather short, and then we have Reinhardt and Carrie. And I found out that I actually like this game a lot more than I thought I was going to. It's actually really dope. So, yeah, big ups to Konami for giving us the better version. It's too bad we had the demo version first that was sold at full price. And you know what? I guess we shouldn't have been surprised they did the same thing with Metal Gear Solid 5, just saying. Monday afternoon, we will have more of Street Fighter Alpha 3 for, we're playing that one on the Switch. Tuesday night, we're going to be continuing with more of Odalis The Dark Call for Steam. Wednesday afternoon, more of Mortal Kombat 1 for Steam. We'll be playing more ladders. Still got plenty of those to go through, seeing all those endings. And then Thursday night, a week from today, I'm going to be recording more YouTube videos. So we will be playing Octopath Traveler. And of course, inviting people on to come on the voice chat if they'd like to. So anyway, let's see who we have online that we could raid. Let's see. Oh, it helps if I have my fingers on the correct home keys when I'm doing this.
I did just see that Officer Dan went live.
Well, you know, I do enjoy rating him, but let me see who else we've got. I just want to look at the whole picture. Wow, there's a lot of people on my list that are live. Let's see. I think it's going to be Dan or Amethyst. You know what? I would normally raid Dan, but I'm going to raid Amethyst because Dan is playing a Harry Potter game, and I'm not so into that. Yeah. It's not the new one. It's like an old PlayStation one, but still.
Yeah, I think he said it was something like viewer request stuff. So.
Perhaps. But I know there's a lot of people in the community who are just not into that.
Yep,
and
that's totally fine.
Totally
we don't want any of that.
We're going to raid Amethyst Corn, who's playing something called Mice Guard. Oh, it looks cute. It's like a strategy game with mice.
Oh.
It looks cool. Yeah, no. I give Dan a pass too because he's playing an old game. He's probably emulating it or something. But I just still, you know.
Yeah.
That must be a
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna raid Amethyst Corn. Can I get my hands on the correct keys? That would be great. I don't get to raid Amethyst all that often. I know I just did the other day, but her schedules don't intersect much. So let's see. I want to do something mouse related. Hold on.
Cookie Monster. Sorry.
Cookie Monster. I'm saying, wait, are these laser mice or the ones with balls? Okay, guys, there is your raid call. Copy that, paste it as we head into Amethyst Corn stream. She's playing what looks like this sort of real-time strategy game where she's protecting mouse babies with these, like, warrior mice. It looks kind of fun, to be honest. Anyway, it's called Mice Guard. We'll see you guys over there. We'll copy that, paste it as we head into Amethyst Corn's stream. I'll see you guys over there. I'll see you guys tomorrow for some old school boomer shooter shit. Just around in general on Discord. I've covered up the camera now. Here we go.